Well, welcome everybody. We're going to do our large venue working group a resolution that's going to be presented at the December board meeting. We talked about it all at the last meeting, and Jennifer's going to add some bullet points to it. And if anybody has any questions or concerns, I'd like you to let us know before the large meeting so I could add it. But you've all seen it. We went over it the last time, and I think we did a reasonable job. I don't know what anybody else thinks. I have it somewhere here. Um, and if there's any other, and there, everybody will have to fill out a form. We voted on it at the, we voted on it, did we not, Jen, in October? We voted on guidelines.
We did. We adopted the resolution, and then we agreed to sort of have that in a more user-friendly format, aka
Right.
zip sheet of its
Yes.
own.
Yeah.
So you can think of it as an addendum to our
Yes.
existing guidelines. So sorry, I had it on my screen. Let me just share it again. I pulled it back down.
Everybody, I'd like you to look at it. I don't know how many of us are here. I'm going to look for participants.
We
well,
have
here
the attorneys, but we don't have our members.
I have Mark and Miriama, at least for the large venue. I'd like to get through that, and I think it's okay. Miriama, what do you
Yeah, I
think?
think so too.
Yeah, we worked hard on this. I think it's okay. It's not perfect, and we may add something. We gave ourselves some room to add 11, 12, and 13, correct, Jen?
Correct.
So in case something comes up. You know, I heard that there is something about Exchange Place somewhere floating around.
Not 20 Exchange Place again.
Yes.
Oh, geez.
So we all have to be alert. I don't know where it is, or it's somewhere around. But I gather a lot of these places do a one night, you know, they test run. They can get a one night party or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to all keep sharp and our eyes open. But
Okay.
the place looks all cleaned up by me. The doors are clean and they're the windows. So I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe Jen or Lucian can do a little checking. So what do we do, Jen?
So do we just agree to adopt this?
Yeah, I think we agree to adopt this.
We can adopt this, and since we have quorum, well, we should have quorum at licensing.
Mm-hmm.
And Susan, up to you whenever you want to bring this up again, whether it be right before we start with the applications or right at the very end of the meeting. We can just raise it up once more.
Well, I have two things to bring up. So when we get our quorum at the end of the meeting, hopefully this won't be a long, long meeting, is we can bring up this, and we can also bring up, if everybody will um, um, like to, if we could submit 3 items for the transportation impacts of local law 114 of the open restaurant ruling, what we think we would like in there. I'd like none of them, but since I have no choice, my big item, Mariama and Mark, is I would like that you can't have a sidewalk and a street. I think it's too much space, and you're taking up the parking for the local residents.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're taking already up the sidewalk, you shouldn't be taking up the street.
What I've seen around the city also is the cops now taking up what little parking is left. So you have one of these outdoor restaurants, and then you have those new carve outs into the street that are for the parking. They're sort of off of the curb, to make way for the bike lane.
Yes.
And then the cops are sitting in those little areas. They have their cop cars parked there.
Well, I've seen restaurants there.
I've seen that too. And we have one around here that seems to be doing like a valet service with that.
Yeah, yeah. So those things should be really limited. Anyway, so
and I thought that there was always supposed to have a shed in front of, or a restaurant, whatever they're calling the restaurant outdoor thing, only immediately in front of their restaurant.
Well,
I'm
some of
also
them are
seeing
down
them
the
going
block.
like further down the block now. Yes.
Yeah, some of these restaurants also cone off areas that are not part of
Their
uh,
property.
their property, and they'll put like garbage bags out there and stuff like that to like save parking spaces for themselves. That
Mhm.
restaurant, I can't remember the name, but the one we always have a trouble with, the Sidewalk Cafe on Greenwich and North Moore.
Oh,
Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah,
they do
yeah.
that all the time. Other places do it. We should mention something about that as well.
Jen, we should. Both of those things.
Mhm.
I mean, three things really so far, and how they really have to abide by the stipulations we have around the liquor licensing. I don't think they
Mhm.
can just go that if they have a community, if we've approved them for X, they shouldn't have to have it go later than
Right.
what we've approved. Hello, Pat. Karen, come put your face on.
I heard your discussion. Yeah, I totally agree that if they have a sidewalk cafe already, they shouldn't have a in the street.
Oh,
What
Karen's
are
at a
we
party.
calling it? Restaurant structure? Look at Karen in the universe.
She's at a party.
Well, I think that's correct. And I
Also,
think,
I'm sorry.
go on, Pat.
No, I was just going to say that last time I was in the city, I managed to go out and I was uptown and I was like at 53rd or 4th or 5th, whatever street. And I wanted to cross the street, and every restaurant on the block had an outdoor structure. So I mean, you should cross at the corner anyway, but we New Yorkers cross in the middle of the street. Number one, you couldn't cross in the middle of the street. And I tried to and almost got hit by a car. And number two, there were dead rats between two different restaurant sidewalk structures and garbage.
I think the question which Mark always talks about, and it's true, he was just mentioning, the whole issue of garbage is just beyond the pale. I
Yeah,
mean, it is really, uh,
ridiculous.
and they're not ticketed. It's not enforced. There's no enforcement. It's like we're the Wild West.
Mhm.
It's
Well, it's actually
pizza.
very
It's like the
difficult to
pizza
get them out.
place in my street. They'll say
Yeah.
the garbage will be there 3, 4 days. I call all the time. I have the direct number to District One. They'll come rarely. Especially like the boxes. They'll leave boxes out, and then if it's a day they're not coming, they'll leave it in front of our door,
Ooh.
right by our door, and then the rats go in there. I mean,
I mean,
these people are disgusting.
partially it's the restaurants, but partially to be, on the sanitation department is having a hard time keeping up with trying to get in between and around all of these different structures that
Well,
are out
that's a
there.
piece of it, but it's not just sanitation, since a lot of them have private carding, Pat.
Yeah.
And they're paying for private carding, and then they dump. I've seen it here on William Street. They leave some of the garbage. These guys, right, and then my super and everybody else has to clean it up.
Yeah. Wait till it snows. That's gonna be another
It's gonna be
big
disgusting.
That's
Say
right.
that,
move.
Mark.
Yeah.
Don't
Thank
say
you.
that.
That's so kind of you to raise that. So we have a couple of things tonight. I'd like to move along. I'd like everybody to stay for the end to just go over the venue one more time and to make sure we have everything that we want for the about the liquor authority license.
What was that large venue?
It was that
Proposal?
we have a stipulation that goes along with these large venues now that we worked on, all of us, at the last meeting, and we just formalized it. It's in your email, and it gives us some room to add additional stuff specifically, but they're the basic 10 items that we all agreed upon the last time.
Okay.
There it is. Jen just brought it up.
Thanks, Jen. Oh, went away again.
No, it's there.
It's
there.
tiny.
Let me
Yes.
try zooming in. Give me a second.
Hmm.
See.
As long as we're looking at this, can I just add that there was passed around by I forget who, the city's survey, DOT survey of how people felt about the open streets restaurant program.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to encourage people to fill that out.
I did. You encouraged us
too.
this time. I did fill it out. A lot of good it'll do, but I did fill it
So
out.
they're doing that now after the city council already passed it?
Well, I think so.
But there are no laws. I mean,
well,
there are no, they passed it, but there are no, regulations.
You
It
know,
just seems a little late to ask people how they feel about it.
well, could care less, Mariana. Hello. But that notwithstanding, I think that the some of it's up for grabs. You know, a lot of them have done stuff because they have 3 weeks left or 2 weeks left,
Mm-hmm.
and they're doing their last hurrah. But who knows what's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
So we all have to be kind of vigilant.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think this stipulation is reasonable, and we have an ability to add items to it that are site specific.
Mm-hmm.
So if you
Looks
have
good.
the large venue, 75 persons or more.
Mm-hmm.
And that,
You know what?
wow.
I was just going to say, I will have delivery of supplies. I was just thinking about this too. I'm sure now it's difficult. They probably double park because all these structures are in the way to deliver. They probably are, making it difficult with traffic because they're double parking to deliver stuff. It's another problem with these structures.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Well, there's, and down here, they park on the sidewalk. So if I walk in the street, I'm a dead person. I mean, I do, but it's the streets are so
And the
narrow.
city's proposing taking away more parking. I don't know if you heard that last week. They're getting this ridiculous notion into everyone's consciousness. There's free parking for everyone. Well, there's been parking on the streets forever. What the hell do we pay our goddamn taxes for to these morons? Who goes, there's free parking, so you can have transportation alternatives and all the other radical lunatics getting into everyone's consciousness that they were going to take away parking because it's free. It shouldn't be free. Keep an eye on that. We're going to have to combat that one. I know the Transportation Committee's not going to do it because the chair of that committee hates cars. She's so stated and will not do anything to help people with cars. I don't give a damn what because that's what she said in her own words. So we have to do it through another committee.
All right. Well,
We have very little free parking in Lower Manhattan in our district.
very
There's
little.
not
Always
much
has
alternate
been
side or anything. Everything is
What
metered.
was taken
Like
away.
I said, on the Transportation Committee, the committee voted twice to have on the agenda to look at curbside parking for more parking, not just for personal vehicles, but to work out stuff for truck parking and stuff like that. And the bylaws state that if the committee votes on something, the chair cannot override that, and she doesn't put it on the agenda anymore. So the committee is basically useless.
Mark. All right, we'll move on. So we don't have quorum, Jen.
No, which is an issue because so far I only received 2 responses from our committee that they won't make it tonight. So assuming besides those 2 responses, we should have quorum by now.
What time was licensing supposed to begin? What time was? the other-
6:30?
6:30.
6:30?
Okay, so they're not late yet.
They're
Yeah, say
not late
15
yet.
minutes. Yeah.
And do we need anything else for open, the open restaurants, open streets?
But like I was mentioning to you on the phone earlier, Susan, so that Reese just a few days ago, the city, even I think it was yesterday, is coming out with new regulations with regards to the structures, and it was apropos of what happened over at
Oh, Mark, what was that, Mark?
it's new regulations about the structures, the outdoor structures, and the roof blew over at what was the name of that place?
Odeon.
Odeon, yeah.
Yes.
So part of the new requirements are going to be that the structure needs to be easily removable, which I don't know how they're going to do that with some of the ones I've seen that were built that are actually very nice and elaborate, and they also cannot be 100% enclosed.
Yay.
Good.
So which is also ridiculous because in the winter, Who's going to want to sit outside in the cold? I mean, what's the purpose of having it if it's going to be cold outside, you know?
There
So,
is-
so,
there's-
um,
there
so it
has
doesn't
to
make
be
any
here.
sense, of course, as usual,
But
because the
Mark,
Department of Transportation's in charge of it. So,
Mark, what did they say about heating?
there wasn't anything about that I heard. But you can't use the propane heaters anymore for who knows why, because someone got a bug up
Maybe
their
somebody
ass.
started a fire?
No, well,
Yeah,
they're
they
very
don't do anything.
careful.
They're
They're
perfectly
The fire
safe.
on Second Avenue was caused by a propane heater.
Yeah,
But Mark, they're not that safe. I know from California, nobody uses propane
Right.
there.
They're on trucks all the time. I mean, unless you're an idiot and put it next to a curtain or something like that, they're fine.
Mark, where did you say
Maybe they
you
were
saw
frying
one?
turkeys.
I think where did I see that? Wait, let me,
Pushed over.
I think I heard it on 1010 Wins or one of those stations. That's what that was it. Yeah, or 88, one of those.
I'll try and
Yeah.
find them. Okay, thanks.
All right.
Back to the large venues. So Tammy and I are speculating. All right, so you all know that next to me on Greenwich, Live Nation was proposing before the pandemic to
Right.
bring in that large music venue.
Mhm.
And then the pandemic hit. So since the pandemic has, people are back to work, there are construction people working on the Curbside Market, which is the former stock exchange building.
Mhm.
And we are speculating, we have to do some research and find out for certain, but it seems like Live Nation is now continuing without coming to the community board, without saying anything. They're trying to sneak, seems like it, under the radar, that they are trying to continue with that large venue that I don't know if they have a lease on, I don't know anything.
They're in trouble right now too, Live Nation.
Be
They're
because of
they're part of that
people.
Travis Scott concert where the
Right.
people got trampled to death.
Exactly. And so I don't know what's going on, but we as a community board need to, and Ariama will probably try to do something about it in quality of life, even though it's not quite that subject, but because it's in my neighborhood, I want to make sure that something gets
Do
done
it.
about it.
Are they serving liquor in any way? Do you
Oh
know?
God, yes, they were planning to have, I mean, it's not open, it's just construction
They
going
have
on.
to come to us.
But they were planning to have like 4 bars.
The most interesting thing about what's happened down here is all the bars and all the venues. And that I think if we're proposing laws and rules, it's that they close down at certain hours and they have security and they really monitor. We have a reasonable relationship with uh, um, uh, Stone Street people, but I am loath to give anybody for first time around till 2 a.m. I don't think anybody should get it until they prove themselves how they take care of business and the people around them.
Well,
So
that goes without saying. I mean, that's
But does that apply
SOP. It
to?
really should be SOP.
yes. Yes, large venues have to at least give us a plan on how they're going to control traffic, what they're going to do when people come and go, who's going to stand outside, if there are lines going in. And now, if you have to continue to check COVID and whatever else, you have more and people smoke on the line. I mean, all kinds of stuff.
Well, you know that, I mean, if this is happening, that they're proposing, Live Nation is proposing that their entrance and their exit will be on Greenwich Street, which is like 2 feet wide, and that they have, because they can't have it on Trinity because it's less than 200 feet away from a school. And it is just ridiculous. I mean, I want to do everything we can possibly do to not let them, I don't know that we have any control, but if we do, to not let them open there.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah, I know.
It's just crazy. And then 5 World Trade Centers going in 100 feet away from there. It's just crazy. I mean, on Greenwich Street Saturday morning, I was coming out here to my mom, and I left the house at 8:30 Saturday morning, and I was stuck on Greenwich Street for 10 minutes. And the only reason it wasn't longer is because I convinced the taxi driver to back up.
Mhm.
We were stuck on Greenwich Street, a traffic jam at 8:30 on Saturday morning.
Wow.
You know,
So
this
we don't
this
know.
this type of problem keeps recurring in one form or another. And years ago, I had the idea that if we could go to city planning and get them to rezone certain parts of the district so that certain of these things, would not be as of right. They did not listen. They were not even vaguely interested. And I suspect under the new administration that will continue.
Well,
So
I think we should give it a shot, Karen.
I would love to.
So
Maybe you could talk to Patrick, Karen.
yeah,
Patrick, who's Patrick?
Land use.
Land use, yeah.
Okay.
land
One
use.
of the problems is, unfortunately, the rest of the city thinks that where we live is very rich, and that we're privileged, and that we're spoiled, and that we demand everything, and that is a problem that we deal with.
And that we're very commercial, which is no longer true.
That's correct.
That's correct also.
So, all right, we'll give it a shot. All right, everybody.
It's still only 6:22.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, if we're going to give this a shot, that we have a couple of meetings about it amongst ourselves? I mean, in the same way that we're doing the large venue working group, that we have maybe a rezoning working group? That
Well,
meets maybe a
let's
couple
bring
of
it up
times?
I'll bring it up at the executive committee.
Okay, thank you.
Pat and I'll bring it up, okay, Pat? Because you don't know my brain, I don't know, or Miriama.
Miriama, yeah.
Miriama's the youngest, so
And
she'll
Mark might be
remember.
there too, if Mark is there, yeah.
Yeah, so, and maybe
We
Mark
all
will.
have to help each other remember.
I'll try to remember to remind you.
Mark and Miriam are the younger two.
I'm a little long in the tooth lately. So anyway, I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else around restaurants other than all the stuff we've talked about, and limiting the hours. I think outside, and the drinking, the alcohol's a big deal outside.
Well, I mean, again, shouldn't the overarching legislation for outside should be that it would follow already established sidewalk cafe rules?
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
there should be new rules.
Right.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
Yeah, I mean that, that's the way it should be. If there's a sidewalk cafe and they have to close up at 10, then outdoor dining should have to close at 10.
Well, they're going to complain. They complain about everything. And
Sorry, there's
We have
real
no way-
issues to
We
consider.
have no way to evaluate those complaints. I mean, people come in and they say, oh, I can't make a living that way. I'll fail that way. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. We can't assess that. So I think that those kinds of remarks, are just going to be ignored because we can't do anything with them unless they want to give us a P&L or something.
very cute. I doubt it, but I love it.
Okay, then you ask them for the P&L the next time
Right.
they bring it up.
Yeah, you can see. They all love me anyway, Karen, I'm sure. So, so we have our agenda. You all have it. We'll do Tribeca first. That's what our first item is, and they're coming back. And I'm hoping community people are still around, and we'll see what else is up. Have I forgot anything, Jen, at least for our little small chatty group?
No, we're set for tonight. For in terms of the agenda. I'm still looking at the attendees list to see who else is joined.
So I would like to say in front of at least you guys that I want to give at this end of the year, our last licensing meeting, I want to say that Jennifer Maldonado has been extraordinary, and we've been very, very lucky to have her. And she's been conscientious, and she's done a great job on the resolutions, and she's been a real pleasure to have.
And has a good memory.
Thank God she's young. Anyway, but I just think she deserves yes, thank you. She's been extraordinary. So thank you, Jen.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you all. You make licensing
Yeah.
fun to work with.
You're going to say that again, though, at the full meeting, right?
I am going to say it at the full meeting.
Yes,
You
yes,
know,
absolutely.
the one thing I don't lack is, chutzpah.
Really?
But a full me.
You were shy in retiring.
Yeah, that's me. Oh gosh. Okay. So
Yeah, Susan, you have chutzpah even though you weren't born in Brooklyn.
that's true.
I was.
You were born in Brooklyn? I was born in Queens.
Oh yeah, and, yeah, Flatbush, right next to Borough Park. So I am half chutzpah.
I didn't know you were born in Brooklyn, Mark.
Yeah, yep. Did Miss
Ah,
Eastern did Miss, yeah.
you're my homeboy there.
Oliver, are you from New York?
Oh, yeah.
Karen, I want to say.
Yeah, I was born in Beth Israel Hospital and I grew up in the Bronx.
And
Yeah.
Mary Emma?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
one of them.
yes, I was born in Harlem Hospital.
We've got all the boroughs. No, we don't have
Yep,
Island.
we do.
Staten
Except
Island.
Staten Island. We don't have Staten.
We don't want them.
They want to secede all the time anyway.
Let them go. Let them go.
You might succeed. Yeah, that'll be good.
I don't think so. But who knows? We're in a whole different world,
They
everybody.
got great restaurants in Staten Island. I can tell you, man.
They have a
It's
couple,
actually
yeah.
some places that are beautiful. Like old Richmond looks like an old village. It's really nice.
Yeah. And they have that new, beautiful, that old theater venue that they have rehabbed. Is it St. George? What is it?
St. George Theater. Yeah, yeah,
Georgia.
yeah. Beautiful. Yeah.
It's very nice. And Fresh Kill was, it's very interesting to go to. Well, here we are, and I don't see anybody else.
Oh, boy.
I'm not a happy girl. We have
So
2
it
minutes.
makes Jen. I don't know. Does Jen have phone numbers to make phone calls? Maybe.
Yes,
They all got notices, Mark.
Last
I'm
resort.
It's still only 6:28.
I'm not gonna baby anybody anymore. This
Well,
is
maybe
what
the thing is they don't think they're part of the task force and they're just waiting to 6:30 maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
2 minutes away, everybody. Really.
Are we being recorded?
Yes.
All right.
At least I haven't sworn. So anyway, in my
Yeah,
language.
I knew we were being recorded. That's why my language was so colorful earlier.
Well, I think we should start. It's 6:29. I'm not going to wait. People are here, and if we have to, I'll have to take it to the executive committee, which I don't love. But let's see who comes on and gets in at 6:30.
What people are here? It's only us.
There's 20 attendees, so the
20
applicants are waiting.
Yeah, the applicants are
But
waiting.
where is the committee?
Well, they're not here clearly. There you are. So I don't know. There's another meeting, but I don't see anybody. So Jen, none of our board members are here, correct?
correct. Yeah. I just sent another final reminder through email, and I'll have the numbers from Joel and Megan. I don't know if Megan's joining tonight.
I don't know. I don't know. So I think we're going to start, and let's go to 293 Church Street.
Okie dokes. We have the applicant here with us. I'll move him up to panelist so he can speak.
So Zach, we read your, Jen, why don't you post the application? So Zach, I've read it all, and most of your letters of support are from businesses and people who work in the community. Were you open over the last month? Did you have events on a day basis like you?
No, we did not. No, we have had a few events over the last month, and we've made considerable progress to cure all of the complaints that have been voiced. So I just to start off, and I'm going to be very brief because I know that we've taken a lot of the committee's time over the last 2 meetings. First off, I want to thank obviously everyone for hearing our case and hearing our application out. I want to apologize genuinely and sincerely to anyone in the community that we've made uncomfortable through our operation here. And I'm very well aware, based on the fact that I am a resident here, that the actions of people surrounding this neighborhood impact everyone. And we are completely, fully committed to solving any problems to make sure that anything that we're doing is not a nuisance to the community. So again, I want to thank everyone and thank you for this time. So after the last meeting, we reached out to Stephen Rand and Bradley Silverbush, and we met with them to discuss the specifically the noise, but also other concerns that they had. We've submitted a plan for soundproofing that goes far beyond what we had initially said we would be doing, which is the soundproofing of the skylights and one of the windows. We have, in addition to those items, we have soundproofing panels that will be installed. They actually just arrived yesterday, and we're going to be installing them this week. Soundproofing panels for all of the south-facing walls in the property, which all face Mr. Rand's property. We have, in addition to that, a sound barrier that's going to be installed between, and I'm in the space right now, so I'm hoping just for a minute, I want to take you guys through just so you can see what's going on. But the wall that I'm facing right now, and I'm on my phone, is, let me see if I can flip my camera here. Well, I'll just show it to you. So this wall, right about here, is what faces Mr. Rand's property. The back side of this door, we're going to be insulating that entire wall, and we just received all this installation. It'll be done before the end of the week. Additionally, we have best-in-class sound barriers that will be installed on the top of the space to insulate any sound leakage. And these are all things that we didn't know about in taking this space and building out the property. It's a very old building. We just had no clue. We had no idea that that sound was going to be an issue. You know, the sound system that we have in here, and you'll see this in the application, they're background speakers. They're used for health clubs and and other applications where it's not a club type setting, which is what's been described that what we're doing. That's not at all. I have no interest again in running a nightclub. We're trying to create something that will be of value to the community. So anyways, we've moved forward with that action plan, which has been submitted to the committee. You'll see in the new application, which we submitted today, that unfortunately Michael Barrett, who's an ex police officer and a well-respected operator in the industry, has operated bars and restaurants in New York for close to 30 years, that he's no longer involved in our business, unfortunately, again, because of really how far this has escalated in a really short period of time. And it's unfortunate that we've lost him, but we are fully committed to opening the business and serving the community. So you'll see that when you go through the application. And what's most exciting, and what I want to show you guys right now, just in the last few minutes of my presentation, is that over the weekend, we opened our doors. We took the paper down off of the windows. We opened our doors to the community. And I'm going to take you guys through just so you can see exactly what we're doing here. So I'm behind the bar right now. But if you look, so the front of the space, we have an open house that's happening daily from noon till around 7 p.m. And I welcome all of you to come by and see what we've built. We have fresh pastries that are being served every single day to members of the community, hot coffee and fresh squeezed orange juice. Christmas decorations. This is all facing the street on Church Street. And we have a copy of our menu, our brunch menu, which we'll begin serving in January, which is available for people to see. And also we have the back fully open to, so that people can walk through and tour the space. So this is the main bar area. There's around 20 seats here at the bar. And then we have a very small back area with banquet seating and a restroom right here for patrons. But it's been really exciting to be able to see or just to be able to communicate with the community. So we've had in less than 48 hours, we've had over 100 people come through the space. Many of them have signed the updated petition that we submitted. And so there's a few things on the application before I close that I'd like to point out. So we're only asking for beer and wine. I really want to prove to the community and to the community board that we are able to run a respectable business, that we will not have, that there will not be any issues, with the business. So I'm willing to make that sacrifice and to, knowing that we're not going to generate the same amount of revenue as we would with full alcohol. And also we've reduced our hours. So we're asking for 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday, but we will close at midnight every other day throughout the week. And I hope that that's a compromise that everyone is willing to accept. I think.
I can't hear you, Zach.
He froze.
Yeah, he's frozen.
There's a hand on this in the attendees.
No, I know. Let Zach finish, and then we'll.
While he's unfreezing, is this the restaurant that's always been a problem on the corner of like Murray and what's the street that it's on? It's on
No,
Church and
this is way north.
This is north.
North of
where
there.
is it?
It's right somewhere around Lisbonard. I don't remember if it's north or south.
Okay.
Lisbonard.
It's not the same restaurant. Okay.
No.
And they redid it. It's very much a bar that they're going to have bar food. Are correct? Zach, it's not a big restaurant venue. It's mostly bar food and a bar and
Apologies to everyone. I'm not sure what
Don't
happened.
worry about it.
I got kicked off of the call. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, great. Anyways, just in closing, yeah, the menu has been submitted, so we're going to be starting brunch in January, and we're going to be offering brunch on the weekends to start, and then we'll transition to food service daily in the front of the space. The back of the space, we're going to have more high-end, think of it as like the food that you would order in a hotel lobby. So shrimp cocktail, different things you can share between a table that we'll have in the back. So we won't have full dinner service where you're seated and you're, eating a meal, but it's, there will be plenty of food options, and we have all of those options, or, the beginning of those options available. So, and then just lastly, before I close, and again, I don't want to take any more of the time that we need to, or, any more time than necessary. I would like the opportunity. I'm going to stay muted for, the entirety of any objections to our application, but I would like to have the opportunity to, at the conclusion of this, correct any untruthful statements that have been said about myself and the business. Because there have been many things that are damaging to my reputation and to the business that have been spoken in this forum. And I know that that's not your job to police these things, but I would like the opportunity to correct any.
I don't have any trouble with that.
Okay.
That will be fine.
Understood. Okay. Thank you very much.
I'm going to say one thing, Zach. I would certainly, if we do this, midnight on Sunday is not acceptable to us any longer because of the way things are. And it would certainly, one of the things we've kind of instituted is 10 p.m. because it's a Sunday and people live around there and all of that. All of this after one has 6 months to a year of operation is subject to review. But at least we've got to see what's happening.
That's understandable, and I'm totally fine with that. I respect I know your job is to I'm well aware of what your job is, and I want to make sure that we're supportive in the pursuit of that. So that's no problem. I would ask for 1 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, which will allow us to just maximize. I mean, I think people are out past midnight, especially in this neighborhood, most nights, and on the weekends, on Friday and Saturday, I think 1 a.m. would be a real benefit to us, especially given that we're 3 months now past where I wanted to be in opening this business. But yeah, less on Sunday is completely fine.
All right, Karen, go on.
Yeah, I'm curious about the food. Are you providing food that you're going to buy or contract from outside, or are you going to be making food yourself on premises?
We'll be making food on premises and obviously buying from distributors. We're working with a local bakery currently for all of our pastries. So we have fresh pastries delivered every morning around 2 or 3 a.m. That were baked fresh that day. And again, those are available for free for the community right now. And the other food items that we'll be offering to customers will be prepared on site.
Okay, do you have a full kitchen there? What kind of facility do you have for food prep?
We do have a full kitchen, but we don't have ventilation we don't have a hood. That's the only thing that we don't have. But we have every other component that we would need. And there's a lot of restaurants in New York, even in Tribeca, that are operating in a similar fashion because of the limitations of the property. And we plan to do the same thing. So the items that we'll be serving to customers will not require an open flame and hooded ventilation, which is consistent with more full service restaurants.
Okay, so basically you'll be heating and reheating.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, that was what I wanted to get at, because my understanding was that not only the physical plant, but also the C of O, I think doesn't allow full kitchen there. Is that true?
We do not have, just by way of the structural plans for the building, we do not have hooded ventilation, which would prevent us from, cooking items.
Fine.
Okay. I think we got it. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Yes.
Any other questions from the committee? Otherwise, I have some community representatives that I'd like to call on. Duran, Megan, anybody else, or we'll just hold off and let's hear from Bradley Silverbush first. You want to unmute yourself, Bradley?
Yes.
Okay, welcome.
We took to heart the committee's recommendation that we meet with Zach, and a few days after the last committee meeting, we had a virtual meeting with Zach and my client, and I was heartened by Zach's acknowledgement that there were 3 areas of acoustic concern, primarily the skylight, the door, and the south-facing wall, all of which he's already mentioned. He agreed to hire an acoustic expert to address insulating those 3 areas. And it was agreed that after his acoustic engineer came up with the plan, that my client and I would meet with he and his acoustic engineer at the premises to review the plan to make sure it was suitable. I didn't hear that was on November 19th. 10 days later, a week ago yesterday, I received notification from the applicant's lawyer that he was withdrawing his name from the project. So the actual applicant, Michael Barrett, has withdrawn his application. We heard today that Zach has today submitted a new application. I've not seen that application. I don't know if the members of the committee have seen the application. But I can tell you, if he just submitted it today, he hasn't made the necessary posting requirement in order for us to have a discussion. And I, for one, would like to have an opportunity to review the application before we discuss it. Otherwise, the only thing I can comment on are the representations that have been made. And as far as I know, the only person who had experience with this sort of establishment was Mr. Barrett. He had listed his qualifications. He was a former police officer. He had 3 existing establishments. He's the kind of guy who, I think to quote you, Ms. Cole, that is encouraged because they have a track record. On the other
No,
hand,
Bradley, I want to, I'm going to interrupt for
Sure.
1 minute because I want to avoid a long, lengthy discussion, and Zach, the materials, the materials came in at 4 today to all of us. Bradley is correct. None of us have been really able to review it carefully. So we're in a dilemma again, Zach. I don't, I hear that you've tried to have a good faith. Bradley has acknowledged that. But I think that in all fairness, rather than go through all the minutia here tonight, I've got to let the committee look at this and really review it because it was so contentious. And we want to do the right thing here. It's not that we don't. And so I would say, I would like to, as much as it pains me, I'm not happy about it, but the material didn't come in. I'd like to postpone it one more time to January. And I give you my word, Zach, that we will make a decision one way or another in January. But I can't legitimately make decisions, or any of us, without seeing the entire application. And we have
Susan, with all due respect, this is my only point of contention there. The only difference in the application that's been submitted today versus prior to now is Michael's name not being on the application. Everything else is exactly the same, with the only additional change being the hours. The reason why Michael is not involved in this business has nothing to do with the business or anything else. It has to do with the fact that I'm being sued personally right now. I have the business being sued right now by Bradley and Mr. Stephen Rand. And there are numerous people in the community that have reached out to me saying that they are uncomfortable with the situation, that in the way it's played out, and that they are scared to speak up because they are concerned that they're going to get sued as well. And I'm sorry, but pushing this another month is not acceptable to us, and we will have to go directly to the SLA, which I don't want to do. I want to follow, and we have not involved lawyers in any of this process. We have tried as much as possible to open our doors, to communicate with Bradley and Stephen, to do everything in our power to cure all of the complaints. But pushing this another month will not work for us. And what is happening here is unfair. There are untruthful, damaging allegations that have been placed against us, and we can't do that. There is no reason why the application is identical. There is no change to the application. And this is our 3rd time now sitting in front of the committee.
No, I understand that. So Zach, I want the rest of the committee. Let me call on the 2 other people from the community, and then I want my committee to talk, if that's okay, because I want to hear from them. So thank you, Bradley. I'm going to move on. And Andrew
Yes, Andre Zetlin. Yes.
Zetlin, you want to speak? Let me give you a couple of minutes, no more. I don't want to go on and on
Okay.
because I don't want, please.
I will just get to the facts. I live in the building next door. I submitted to committee the noise complaints that I have filed with 311 because of the noise coming from 293 Church. These complaints were sent to you. Nothing really changed since last meeting. Just the next weekend, loud music and party is still going on, and it continues up to this date. Kids cannot really. My kids' bedrooms face the skylight, and they cannot sleep on Fridays and Saturdays.
Okay,
That's all I have to say. Thank you.
thank you, thank you. Stephen Rand? Mr. Rand, you want to unmute yourself?
Hi.
Hi.
So Zach has been there a year and he's managed to alienate everybody in the neighborhood. I don't know what 6 months is going to do. Secondly, his basement, which operates as his kitchen, is no human occupancy. He cannot use the basement. He cannot prepare. He cannot have refrigerators. He cannot have anybody down there. Nothing has been done with the acoustical. He is telling you how much he is going to do. He has done nothing. In fact, he has defaulted on the lawsuit. He has no money and he cannot do any of this. You are giving him an opportunity to make everybody unhappy for something that is very stupid. Pat, it's like this thing that's opening next to you. This place should not be next to us. He's giving you no specifics. He talks about people that don't want to say anything. There are no names. There are no names about anything. He had businesses come and sign his little thing while we have all of the neighbors who don't want this. I don't understand why you want to see what he does in 6 months. You've seen what he does in a year. He is going to try now for a beer and wine license, which he then is going to expand to turn into another nightclub again. Why do you people not see this? He is running a nightclub. He has been running a nightclub for a year. He has lied to you on every situation. Look at this. Please listen to what is happening. Thank you. And let my lawyer tell you some more too, because this has been a big issue. Don't cut him off. There are other people here that are our neighbors. Let people talk. We don't want this. We don't want this.
I got it, Mr. Rand. Anybody in the community before, I'll let you speak again, Bradley. I'm not beyond that, but let me ask the community if anybody has any comments or how they would like to see us proceed.
Oh, since we have
I'll call on you, Alan Harris. Don't worry. But let me ask I'd like to hear from my committee. Anybody? Jean, anybody who's come on? Karen?
Well, I just wanted to make sure that everybody who's listening or wants to participate knows that I think we don't have a quorum tonight.
We do now,
Oh,
Karen.
we do. Okay, fine. Fine.
Anybody else? Okay, Bradley, you want to
Just
continue?
two
But
very quick
come on,
things. Thank
just
you, Ms. Cole.
very
Two-
clearly to me. I want to hear what more, what do you, other than him not opening,
Yes.
okay, which you don't want. And I always am careful, so you understand this, the committee is very careful because I never want the SLA to go beyond what we think. Do you understand? And that's why I'm very cautious. We as a community and a committee are very cautious. So tell me what everybody wants from your side, Bradley.
Well, from my side, very briefly, there is no cooking on premises. So the idea that he's going to make eggs is contrary to the C of O. There's no permitted cooking there. And as he admits, there's
That's
no.
not true though. That's not true. Fine. I'm sorry.
Wait,
I'm
Zach.
going against what I said, and I'm sorry. That is not a
Alright.
truthful statement, but I'm going to wait until the end. I'm sorry. Go
Okay.
ahead, Bradley.
The suggestion that this committee should approve cooking, even though there's no ventilation, because that's what's done all over the city, is preposterous. But the main point of contention, if you look at Appendix A to the application that I have, it only listed 9 establishments within 500 feet of the proposed bar. But Lamp, according to the State Liquor Authority, there are 18 currently existing liquor license establishments within 500 feet and 1 pending. So to me, the misrepresentation that there are 9 when in fact there are currently 18 active in and of itself requires denial of the application. Finally, in connection with the pending lawsuit, I was in contact with the landlord's attorney today trying to resolve the case. The case has been settled with respect to Mr. Barrett. I believe it's going to be settled with respect to the landlord, who informs me that Mr. Normandine is currently in default of his lease obligations. So my biggest concern is that you give him a license and then he sublets it to another entity that none of us have any control over, and everything is gone to hell as a result of that.
Right.
I don't believe he has the financial means or wherewithal, and he's previously stated how dependent he is on income from the premises in order to survive. He doesn't have the financial wherewithal to run this business successfully. Thank you.
Thank you, Bradley. So, Zach, I'm going to give you the last word, and then the committee is going to make a decision.
I have nothing more to say on this. There's too much here that I know is not the job of the committee to debate, and I know you are not the judge and the jury, and I'm happy to take this to a judge. If that's what we need to do, we will take it to a judge and we will fight it there. We have done nothing illegal, and I just want to close on these few points. We have done absolutely nothing illegal here. We have done everything by the books. We will open this business, whether it's with alcohol or without. We will open this business, and I hope everyone makes the time to come through and walk through the space. The facts that Bradley and Mr. Stephen Rand are communicating are not truthful. I am a neighbor next door to Mr. Rand. He has not come over here one time. And also anyone else who is complaining about this, our door is open every single day. Please come here. I want to fix these problems.
All right. So,
I want to fix them.
Zach,
and also,
Zach,
last thing is
no,
this.
no, no.
Last thing is this.
Zach,
Hold on.
question, Zach.
One
How
moment.
many?
Yes, go ahead.
How many liquor licenses are there within 500 feet?
The calculation that we did, and if we're wrong in this, then we're wrong. But the calculation that we did was using Google to measure by the foot exactly, using a diagonal line, which is the way that it says to do it on the SLA's website, from our open door to other areas within the community. If it's more than that, then I'm unaware of that. I'm just using the information that's been given to me. Susan, I just want to end on this one thing.
Okay.
We have had the police here. I have interacted with police officers, firefighters, and more emergency personnel than I've ever interacted with in my life over the last 3 months. We have had the fire chief walk through here. We have had multiple police officers walk through here. Every single time they walk through, there is no violation, there is no citation, there is nothing. The complaints that are filed are closed out immediately. And I have
Because you're not
written
operating.
record. Listen, written record that Mr. Rand is directing people in the community anytime they see people outside of our space to call the police every 30 minutes
That is
and
so
have
not
them
true.
come here. That is
Okay.
unacceptable. It's
That
a
is
poor
so
use of
not true.
tax dollars, and it is not a good thing for the community.
Okay, I've got it. I don't want to hear any more. Please.
That's
So,
fine.
Thank you. So we have 2 options, committee, and I need to hear from everybody. The first is to say that we want Zach to postpone, and if he says he's not, is to that he's going to file with the SLA. We issue a correspondence objecting to this license to the SLA and why. Or is the second is a resolution that this application is not in the public interest. So I need all of you to talk to me before we do any of this. Those are our options that I see them, unless one of you sees something different. If Zach is saying he's going to file anyway, We don't have a resolution. We don't have any stipulations, but we write to the SLA very clearly that we are against this at this moment, that we need further discussion, blah, 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 blah. And for all the reasons, a new owner of this and that, or that we write a resolution stating that we don't want this to exist. You know how I feel about that with the SLA. So they're much more able to listen to a letter from us, but I want to hear from all of you. So talk up, everybody. Raise your hand and let me know what you think, please. I'm waiting. Mark?
Yeah, so I think since we requested that the applicant wait a month, which generally is acquiesced to when we do that, but he's refusing to do that.
That's not true. That's not true, Mark. I'm not refusing to do that. We want to work with you guys.
Excuse me, I have the floor. We're in executive session.
I'm sorry, but we want to work with you. We do.
Zach, please.
Go ahead.
So, when asked to come next month without going before the SLA, he said no. So I think we should write a resolution, as you said, but it should be written in that we don't have everything that's going on here, and the last minute stuff. We don't have enough information to really make a decision now. And if asked to make a decision, we should write in the resolution, we will reject it. But we're requesting that the SLA not hear his application until he returns. And I'm pretty sure, like 99% sure, that the SLA will agree to that. And that's the end. That's it. That's all we need to do.
I happen to agree with Mark. Does anybody disagree with us on this one? I think Mark is totally correct. Derek, Deron, I'm sorry. Go.
It sounds, yeah, thank you. I concur with Mark's assessment.
Okay. Megan, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I agree with Mark. I think that's the way to go.
Miriama, I'm calling on you. Too bad, all of you.
I agree with Mark as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Karen?
I'm in. Yeah.
Okay. Pat?
Yeah, I think that's the only way we can go.
Okay, I do too. All right, thank you, Mark Amoruso. So Nick, that's our decision. We're going to write a resolution. It will be at the board meeting. We are going to explain that, as Mark stated, that we don't at this moment have enough information to move forward. And that's what why we are submitting the resolution. You wanted to open in January, did you not, Zach?
Susan, we will open this business with or without alcohol. I'm not also, just to be clear, what is happening right now is unfair. This is our third meeting in front of the community board. We have been pushed every single month due to circumstances that they're not even truthful. No one here on this committee is doing any policing I could say right now that Steve Rand is operating an illegal prostitution and drug ring out of his property, and I could speak that every single time on this community board. And if I have enough lawyers, then that's something that you guys are going to listen to. No one has even stepped foot in our property. This is unfair. And right now, at this moment in the city, it is not. I want to invest in this community. We want to come back, and I want to work with everyone, but you're putting me in a really difficult situation.
Listen,
I don't want to fight this legally, but we've invested so much to try to make something beneficial to the community.
Well, you're putting us in a difficult situation.
Well, then,
when checked, wait. Just now, there are 18 active licenses within your area. It is a very
Saturated.
Thank you, Karen. I couldn't think of the word. So, Zach, I understand, but I also, we are here as representing our fellow community members. And at this moment, And that's what we are saying. We don't have enough information, any of us, because the application was the change or whatever.
Then I would ask you this for the meeting in January, which we will come back to present. Please tell me what additional information you are requiring in order for us to properly evaluate this. Because
Okay.
I have communicated to the nth degree on this with as many people as possible, and I just want to know what more we need to do. I have sent. Sure, we took Michael's name off of this today, but everything else is the same. I've communicated as much as I can with the committee, and I really don't want to. I don't want this to be a contentious thing. If you guys walk through our space, you're going to see the time and effort and the livelihood of so many people that's on this, and it's really disheartening.
I'm going to make the effort to go there. I will do that.
I can't wait to meet you. I really can't, and I don't want this to be.
Wait, but that's all right. But listen, we're going to. So we have a choice here now, and do we do what Mark does as a resolution, or do we have him come back in January?
We will not go to the SLA if you guys just tell me what you need. That's all I want to know. I just want to know from everyone what you need to see in order for our application to be heard properly. I'm not asking Bradley or Stephen Rand or anyone else. I need to know from the committee what more you need to see, because what's happening right now to me personally and to this business is not fair. It is not fair at all. And I know that this is not the purpose of the committee to debate these things, but it's not fair. And I just want someone to tell me what we need to do for our case to be heard and for it to be evaluated properly, rather than someone who has a louder voice to be speaking over us and basically overshadowing us and continuing to push this month to month.
All right. I think, Jean, you want to say something. I want to hear you.
I think Mark's comments are fair, and I will go along with what he wants.
Yeah. All right. I think Zach, we are going to write a resolution, and I have to think about all of this in terms of what we are also requiring of you. This is a very complicated piece of business. And what I want you to understand, you have no track record either. Michael was the one with a track record. And I think that's another issue for us to deal with. So I think we are going to attempt to do this resolution. You can come to the big board meeting and speak up at the public hearing before, because this is, I think you're right on one level. We've gone on and on and on with this, and we've got to have some closure. Does anybody disagree? Okay. So Zach, we're going to write our resolution. It will be presented at the large board meeting, and you will have access to see it. So thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
And Susan?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
For the record, since we're being recorded,
Yeah.
we haven't necessarily taken a position on anyone's opinion that we've heard.
That's correct.
So just for the record.
What Jen would say to me, at this moment, we're still neutral, right? Are we not, everybody? We are still neutral. We're still struggling with this, but there are some real concerns we have about the operation of this, the future operation of this venue.
Right.
Am I correct? Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to add that he invited people to come to his location. Susan, you said you would go. I mean, I have the distinct impression that he will use this as an opportunity to lobby each of us. So we should be very careful in our dealings with him if we do go there.
Well, you know, as I said that, what I want to be very clear to say is that going in the daytime doesn't do any good.
That's true too.
I mean, it may look very nice and you may have a little breakfast or whatever, but it doesn't give me the overall perspective. And I think that's a point well taken by
I'm
all.
sorry, I should have spoken up about this. He said he had hundreds of signatures. And did we look at
Well,
the,
we've got a lot of letters, if you'll see in your packet, which we got at 4, they're from other businesses. They're not from the
from
residents.
the residents? That's what I was going to ask, if the signatures are from the residents, number one. Number two, why aren't the residents here tonight? Why didn't they come if they're so upset?
You heard from 3 of them. You heard from, they have a lawyer, Bradley Silverbush. You heard from Mr. Rand.
Mr.
and there was
Silverbush was
another-
a lawyer, but Mr. Rand and there was another person, our
Silverbush
resident.
Mr.
and
Zeppelin.
Mr. Sitson, Sitson or whatever.
Zeppelin.
You know, in the quality of life, we always ask. I mean, if Mr. Rand and the other gentlemen who are residents, why aren't all of their other fellow tenants in the building here to complain?
Well, they're not tenants in that building. Remember,
I
these
answer
are
that?
tenants in other buildings and they've signed
They
up.
live there. They're the ones who are being disturbed by this establishment. Why aren't they all here to complain?
Many of them are here to complain. If you look at the number of attendees, you see there are 24. Many of them are other people who are here to complain, but we didn't want to take up any more of your
We
time.
didn't call on them, Pat.
Oh, we should have called it. Okay, all right.
All right,
We did not call on
Bradley,
them.
can you tell us how many of them there are on your list?
I don't know how many of the 24 are here tonight. I know that we submitted a petition signed by dozens of local residents, and we gave complete names and addresses. That's part of our prior submission. So you do have that. I don't know
Have it.
who-
I know we do.
Okay.
There is an Alex who wants to speak. Are you from the community, Alex?
Well, since Zach has left, it's kind of not fair, though.
Yeah.
I think we'll just leave it be.
Yeah.
Jen wanted to say something. Jen?
We have to vote.
I just wanted to point out,
We have to vote, yes.
Alan J. Harris made a comment on the chat for everyone to see. If I can just read it out loud. As the attorney for the building for which the applicant is seeking a liquor license, I just want to make 2 points. First, Mr. Rand has stated that my client is running an quote-unquote illegal Airbnb. That is a false statement. There are no tenants who rent for less than 30 days in this building. Second, my client bought a shell erect gutted building. The owner then invested millions of dollars in renovations and have preserved every detail of the integrity of this landmark building. Thank you.
Yeah, I read it. All right, everybody. Could we vote on the resolution that Mark proposed that we are going to attempt to write?
Just
which
say
is-
it again, Mark, please.
Mark,
What? Well,
You want-
say again.
you want to state what we're going to write? More or
Yeah.
less. We'll clean it up.
Basically that we at the moment we don't have enough information to make a decision. We requested that the applicant withhold his appearance at the SLA until next month. He refused to do that.
Not true, Mark. I'm not refusing. Mark, I'm not refusing anything.
Stop.
I'm
Let me
not
ask you.
refusing.
Zach, I heard,
Zach, stop. All right, you're killing me here. All right, what are you going to do? We asked you not to apply to the SLA until January. Are you going to do that? Yes or no?
He said he'd come back next
he
month.
said he'd come back.
But he didn't
Mark.
say. He said he was going to go to the SLA. He didn't withdraw that comment.
All right,
So
Zach,
he's
mute
not-
it.
that's all we got.
He's not going to the SLA. Zach, I can't hear you.
You're
Don't-
muted.
You're muted.
Are you changing now? Is he changing his story now or what?
Yes, he said he'd wait till next month.
He said he'd wait till next month, Mark. He's willing to wait, and he asked
No,
us.
he said he'll come next month, but he didn't say he was not going to go to the SLA.
Mark is
Well, he's-
correct.
He's muted. We can't hear Zach.
Zach, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Jennifer?
Can you unmute him, Jen?
Yeah, I tried doing that. I'm not sure what's going on with his audio.
I'm right here.
Oh, okay.
So Zach, please.
We are not going to the SLA. I want to resolve this in the most I don't want this to be contentious. I want to do the right thing here. This is the thing that I just want everyone to understand. We don't want to be a disturbance. I'm just asking everyone to hear us out.
We got it.
But-
We got it. So
Okay,
Susan,
so
then
then
since
don't
he
then don't
agreed,
say things that are not
since he,
truthful.
Zach, you're gonna cut you off again. Since he agreed on the record now that he's not going to the SLA, it
Correct.
just the resolution is basically the same thing, but we say that the applicant agreed to come back next month without applying for his license at this point in time, so we can resolve all the issues that are not that
I
Let's
think
propose something.
we're confused about the
understand,
information.
and Pat, I
So,
think
that's it.
we need a resolution like this to go on record. Pat?
Yeah. It can't. We can't do a letter in this case. The way things are going right now, we shouldn't do a letter.
Okay, but I want to propose something. I thought Zach had left. Since Zach is here, and there are all these people who are here, why aren't we hearing from them?
Because, Pat, it is 7:16. We have spent 45 minutes on this at this moment. And I can't, unless there's somebody positive, most of them are negative. And I don't need to hear any more negative. I'm perfectly willing, but I'm going to lose everybody for the other people who are here. And that's what's disturbing me. I just don't know what to do anymore around this. It is so contentious. I'm willing to call on a couple of people. If they speak for 2 minutes, let them raise their hands. But since Zach is back, I'm absolutely willing to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think since people came out, we should hear from them.
Well, I can't hear from everybody, Pat. I
Well,
cannot.
there's a few people. And who's this person who wrote in the chat?
He's the lawyer for Zach.
No, he's not my lawyer. No, this is the building's lawyer.
Ah,
It's the owners of the building, their attorney, who is included in the lawsuit that's currently filed against us.
Okay.
okay.
It's all bundled together into one thing, which makes it very confusing.
Yes, it
We
is
haven't
very
seen- we haven't seen the
confusing.
application.
I don't understand. If the building is suing you, Zach, I'm sorry, Susan, but if
No, the building is not suing me. Mr. Rand is suing me personally, the building owners, and Michael Barrett, which it seems that has been settled. Mr. Rand is suing all of us for a lot of different things.
and Mr.
For
Rand
us,
lives
it's
next
the
door.
disturbance. It's the disturbance of this business to his property, amongst other things. The building portion of this has to do with an Airbnb, which I have nothing to do with. I don't know what's. I have nothing to do with that. But it's all included in the same lawsuit, and that's the situation.
The
So
Airbnb issue has been resolved. We're formalizing a settlement. Mr. Harris and I spoke earlier today, so that's a non-issue.
All right,
But
so
to
that's
answer your question, Ms. Moore, we haven't seen the application. This is a new application that was only filed at
Bradley,
4 o'clock today.
this is what we have agreed to. Okay, Pat? We haven't seen the application. Although Zach explains to us that it is only has taken off Michael Barrett and that it is now for beer and wine. I think it is incumbent on all of us to read it since he has agreed to come back next month.
that is fair. I'm fine with that. We will do that. And if there's anything else that you need from us, please let me know.
Okay, and I think that it is incumbent for Bradley and any of the residents to inform the community board with any specific concern.
But that's why I say let's hear from a few of them now.
I can't anymore, Pat. I just can't. I can't do it.
Yeah. Susan, so
Yeah.
just for the community members here that want to speak, whatever pro or con or whatever the case is, please come next month, because when the resolution we're lighting is not the meat and potato substance of whether we're approving or disapproving this license. So we were really going to need to hear from you at that point. Appreciate you coming tonight,
Or
but
write
please come
us,
next month.
write us a letter or an email to the community board. Absolutely. Because I just can't, I didn't expect all of this.
Yeah, and
Anyway,
Susan, we run the risk of losing our quorum. I can't.
all right. So, can I have a second or whatever on Mark's resolution, and we will write it up, and it's very neutral.
Second.
All in
Second,
favor?
third, fourth,
Any opposed?
no.
Is that any Recusals?
Recusals, abstentions, let's go.
Okay. Oh, Joel, be quiet. Anyway. All right. So it carries and we move forward. Thanks, Zach.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night. Happy holidays to all.
Yes. The next one is 62 Thomas. And I think Frank is here.
Yes, he is.
We got a little duped on this one the last time. This is for one night. Frank, the way I understand it, it's for a New Year's Eve permit. But when you came to us, I believe it was 2018, whatever. I've talked to Jeff because Jeff was in charge at that time. You had two different names, and we thought we were agreeing to two different restaurants. So it's one fell swoop, large venue space. And so what we're giving tonight is for one night, but Buddha Bar is one big space. It is not two restaurants. Am I correct, Frank?
Correct. It took so long to finish construction on this place. Our Italian partners elected to not wait around for us. So if you remember, we were doing a Sante Madre and we were doing Buddha Bar, one on each side. It took so long to, and we came back. And we came back to it because we couldn't, remember we had to reapply because we couldn't get construction done in time. So the Italians decided they couldn't wait for us.
Okay.
So we are Buddha Bar.
You are Buddha Bar. It is a bar. Is it a restaurant?
Restaurant. No, it's a restaurant.
It's a restaurant and a bar at a large venue with music and whatever else.
Recorded music, yes.
Recorded music. All right. So I asked him to come back because I was totally confused. We approved them. I don't want to tell you we didn't. We did. So this is for their one night New Year's Eve permit. Am I correct, Frank?
You are correct. And to elaborate, we're not doing anything. We're not actually applying for a New Year's Eve permit. A New Year's Eve permit allows the licensee to operate from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Mhm.
That's not what we want to do. What we want to do is we want to have our regular Buddha Bar restaurant crowd. We then will be doing 3 sittings, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 1:30. What we'll be doing in the after hours is nothing more than we're doing regularly. There's no dancing. There's no partying. This is a prefix. In fact, I had the menu sent to you today. This is a prefix 3-sitting dinner menu. That's all that's happening at the premises.
So is it the ground floor or is it the basement?
Both. It's everything. If we're lucky enough, tickets are being pre-sold. If we're lucky enough to fill both floors, we'd like to fill both floors.
So both floors will give me how many people, please?
I think it was about 220. I'm not 100% sure. I don't have the final frame, just the music.
Friggin' people, Frank.
I'm sorry?
That's a lot of people.
Yes, but it's, again, the same stipulations that govern us. I think currently we're required to close at 1 o'clock. Julia, do you remember?
1 o'clock, I believe.
Right. So all we're asking for is 3 hours. We're not going past 4 a.m.
For one night only.
Correct. And then Julia's texting me, it's 150 persons.
Okay. Sounds a lot better than 200, I'll tell you that much.
Is Julia on this? Jennifer, can you let Julia in? I think she's waiting.
There she is.
There we go.
So Frank, are you going to have security?
Yes.
I want to make sure there is security.
Same amount we always have.
What is that?
6, Julia, right?
Yes.
I'm going to say I think you need more. It's New Year's Eve. You got a lot of people, guys. I want to secure and it's residential and smoking and people out drinking and hailing and doing whatever. I think you need a little better.
I don't have any problem adding to security as long as I add them after 1 o'clock.
Fine.
That's not a problem.
Okay. And to make sure the street's cleaned and that in the sense that that you take care of the neighborhood to some degree and get traffic. Yes, Pat, go.
Frank, so they're going to actually serve dinner at 1:30. They're going to have a 1:30?
Yes, ma'am.
and they think they're going to.
It's not me, but this is an international club. And
No. So isn't it going to be more drinking than really dinner at after 1:30?
Of course.
I don't know. It's a prefix. Everyone's paying by the head. We sent you the menu.
So
Alcohol will be included with their meal. But are you saying people are not going to eat? I don't believe that.
Is it unlimited alcohol after 1:30?
It's unlimited within the understanding of it's a 2-hour party.
Correct? With Julia, within the prefix, it's unlimited alcohol.
Correct, but it's understood that it's a 2-hour limit.
They can only be there for 2 hours.
Be there for 2 hours, or the alcohol is unlimited for 2 hours?
Well, the way
when a person buys a ticket, it's for 2 hours.
Let's see if I understand correctly, so that you can disabuse me.
Never.
All right. One, everybody is going to get that menu. Whether they choose to eat it or not is up to them, Pat. That's supposedly
I don't
the
care
menu.
about the food. I'm talking about the alcohol, really.
Well, let me finish. So I think I understand. And with that comes unlimited alcohol. Am I correct, guys?
For 2 hours.
For each.
When you say unlimited, it makes me worried. It's 2 hours per sitting.
Well, that's unlimited. Maybe in 2 hours I can have 10 drinks, not me.
And there's an open bar? I mean, there's an open bar or there's a pay bar also?
I believe it's an open bar. For the 2 hours, it's an open bar.
So they can...
Go on, Pat.
Well, I think people should be allowed to celebrate on New Year's Eve. I just am concerned that there are a lot of people who live around this establishment who are not going to be celebrating or going to bed at, after they toast, the old folks like us who toast the New Year's and then go to bed. And they want to sleep. And so I just want to make sure that this restaurant understands that it's their job to make sure that they don't disturb. I understand there's going to be a little more disruption than normal. It is New Year's Eve, but they have to do their best to maintain quality of life.
So after 1 o'clock, he's going to add 2 more people. So they're going to have 8 people. They're going to.
Susan, I disagree with that.
Who's that?
I disagree with that. I disagree with adding them at 1 o'clock to save a few dollars. Those guys should be there from the get-go, and this way they could tell who the troublemakers are going to be at 12 o'clock. So they need to get a handle of who's in the room, how they're reacting, how much they're drinking. So they need to be there. So don't get cheap out with unlimited drinking, or you could drink to throw up on the sidewalks. You want to save an hour by having 2 security guards. No, they need to be there from the get-go. And there needs to be a phone number in case they really get out of control and there's all kinds of ruckus out there. Unlimited drinking is not the greatest idea, especially for a lot of these younger generation people. And they're going to spill out into our streets. So I think there needs to be some guidelines here. And he's downplaying it. And he's downplaying it. He's wrong.
All right. So wait. So let's see if we can all agree on this. So we have security from the get-go from all evening long to be 8 people. Am I correct?
You understand we have 6 security guards until 1 o'clock. And the concept of watching people, those people by 12 o'clock will be out. There'll be a new crowd that comes in.
All right.
8 security guards.
Wait a second. You're having 150 people. Wait, you're having 150 people come in before 12, and then after 12, there's a second seating of another 150?
We don't know that. We don't know that. We would like it to be, but I can't tell you that that's going to happen.
Well, but it doesn't matter.
You just said that.
It doesn't matter.
That's 2 different seatings.
I can't hear him.
It's all right.
There's 2 different seatings. People leaving at 12 o'clock, and then people first arriving at 12 o'clock. Right?
Right. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of traffic and a lot of people on the street at one time. 150 people are going out, and 100 are coming in. Seriously?
Susan, we will agree to 8 security guards from the get-go.
But I want us to really listen here because, the whole community, Frank, you're coming at a time where everybody is on edge. I'll call on you in a minute, Jean. And everybody's tense and everybody's worried. And it is that we can't control the streets. And not even you or your security guard. They go down out of your restaurant and they come into our neighborhoods. So that's a piece of what you're hearing for all of us. So I want to understand something. So we're all clear when we write this resolution that we understand. One, is your first seating is at what time? 8 o'clock? 10 o'clock? When is your first seating?
10 o'clock. Wait. New Year's Eve sitting?
Yes,
Yes. We will be
that's all
operating
I'm
the
caring
restaurant before
about.
that. We'll be operating the restaurant before that for regular customers coming in and out.
All right, but when is this New Year's
10 o'clock.
prefix? 10 o'clock is the first. The second is at 12.
At night.
And the third is at 2. Am I correct?
Correct.
That is what we are approving. And we are approving, so I want everybody to understand, we are approving that Buddha Bar is now one large venue of the first and ground floor. Correct, Frank?
Correct.
Okay. So that is the 150. The restaurant upstairs is less, right? It's not 150. And the downstairs all inclusive is 150. So that is what we're approving, and they are asking for one night only till 4 a.m. Correct? Am I correct? Does everybody understand before I call on Jean? Jean, go to it. Unmute, Jean.
My concern is the 3 sittings are 3 rounds of black cars in a very, very small side. Thomas Street is extremely small and narrow. And I just can't see the security taking care of all of that in and out for 3, each time you could have 100 people going in and out with cars. And that's my concern. If you had one seating or 2 seatings, you've already got a ton of cars coming in and out of a very, very small street. What's your backup plan if you've got a tremendous traffic jam of cars honking and people, yelling and people in the street? I'm not even worried about them, being drunk. I'm worried about the cars and the people yelling. You've got 3 seatings and three orders of cars for 125 people each seating. That's a lot of cars.
It's 150 is his maximum. So I have a proposition, everybody. You tell me if I'm off the wall. My proposition would be that you have a 12 o'clock, you're going to have your dinner guests, blah, blah, blah. You're not limiting them to leave, are you, Frank?
Limiting them to leave? No.
Okay. So you're then going to have an additional group of folk. And I think you shouldn't have any group after 12 o'clock. You can have a 12 o'clock seating, but not a 2 o'clock or a 1 o'clock seating. And I'll even give you the hours, but you can't have another seating. It's just too many people. And
so we would go to 4 o'clock and do one less seating.
Yes, I would give you that, and I think the committee will give you that, but I'm not going to give you 3 seatings.
Let me just, can I say one thing, Susan?
Yeah, go on.
There are some new faces on the committee I don't recognize. Some I do, obviously. Susan, you remember, Buddha Bar was a headache, a nightmare to get through the community board? It's one of the ones that sticks in your mind.
You got us.
Okay. So we know this, and we've been operating for about 4 months now. We are well aware of the fact that we have neighbors who are concerned. We wouldn't be undertaking something like this if we didn't think we could control it. We've done a good job so far of controlling it. We'll control it New Year's Eve.
Okay, I hear you, Frank. I want to have Mariama, who knows, speak. And I personally, and I'd like to hear from the committee, I think 2 seatings are plenty, and I'll give you the time. We'll give you the time if they agree with me, because I'm only one person. But you can't have more than 2 seatings. Mariama, go.
I can tell you, I already like the sound of that, because I was wondering, part of my question was going to be, how the staggering was going to work in terms of 3 seatings when they're 2 hours apart, like people bumping into each other, coming and going. I think a number of those cars won't even leave when you doing something like a New Year's Eve. You rent a limo for 3 hours, right? That's the minimum. It sits outside while you have your dinner. You come out, it's still there. So 150 of those happening, that's not going to work. You're going to have the whole first precinct down there on Thomas Street, and God forbid anything else happens in the district, there's not going to be any emergency services. This sounds like a nightmare, a disaster,
Well,
waiting to happen.
I'm willing to, I would propose, and you all have to tell me what you think. I would propose they get their 12 o'clock, their 10 o'clock and their 12 o'clock. And that's the last seating venue, but they can stay open late on New Year's Eve.
I can support that.
Okay, Frank, that's what you're going to get in our proposal.
You're always nice people. I'm not going to argue with you.
Okay. Is that all right, everybody? Anybody have a problem? So could I have a second to that proposal?
Second.
Call the question in second, please.
Okay, we got a second. Any against? Any recusal? I'm taking all in favor. So, and remember, Frank, I have one big friggin' restaurant, which I never imagined. So there.
No, you did. It was originally one restaurant, Buddha Bar. Second time it became two. It's true.
It was two, but anyway, all right, we're done.
Can I just say one thing? First of all, thank you all. Hope you have a wonderful holiday.
You too.
But the
You
one
too.
thing we need, Susan, we need a resolution quickly because it's December 31st. It's 3 weeks away.
All right, we have our meeting, we can write the resolution and I can take it to the executive committee.
That wouldn't be a problem. Yeah.
Okay, Frank?
Thanks so much, guys. Have a good holiday.
All right, bye-bye.
Happy holidays.
Thank you, everybody. I love this committee. All right, next thing is postponed until further notice. So the next one we go to is, guys, they're all renewals, aren't they, Jen? I don't have, what else do I have? I don't have anything else other than renewals. And then I have a
Susan, a question on the renewal there, the first one, 200 Church.
Yeah.
It's not Tribeca's Kitchen anymore. It's called something else.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So did they give you did they give us an old application, not change the name?
We reviewed them, did we not, Jen, 2 months ago or last month?
For something different.
This one is for New Year's, this all-night permit. Am I correct, Jen?
Correct. Yes, and their entity name is 200 Tribeca Restaurant LLC.
But they're still out front as Tribeca Kitchen.
Doing business as Tribeca Kitchen.
Yeah, done as, but it is only for New Year's Eve. Am I correct?
It's for an all-night permit for the night of December 31st to January 1st,
Yes,
2022.
well, that's what it is.
Yeah.
At 12:01, it's January 1st.
Okay.
Okay, Darren, I think it's okay.
Okay.
They have their hours. They're not asking for extended. Oh, it's an all-night permit. Well, wait a minute. All night? I think what does all night mean?
Yeah.
Till 6 a.m. in the morning?
Susan, give me a moment. Let me just pull up. There's someone from the attendees.
Yeah, I'd like to see, because we don't give all night. Correct, everybody? I don't think we give all night.
Well, what
A
does
24-hour permit?
Hey, hi.
what does Stone Street do? I thought they had a 24-hour permit.
No, I think it's till 4 a.m.
Hello.
It was 24 in 2009. It was 24 hours.
It was?
Yeah.
All right. First of all, that's not the name of the restaurant. It's named Marathi. It's not
Yeah,
Tribeca's
they
Kitchen.
rebranded.
Right.
200 Church Street rebranded to a.
And I'm the president of the board of the building above them, and I sent you all an email today telling you we did not support their request for DJ and live music and staying open till 1 a.m. because the owners above them already have noise issues with them.
Hillary, it is Hillary, right? We
Yeah.
gave them a stipulation they signed about the hours at the last time they came before us, right, Jen?
You asked them to get the something in writing from the board.
That's correct.
We are not giving you our consent.
The whole board is not.
Correct. Because there's noise problems already.
Well, are you not giving it for their extended hours and certainly not for New Year's Eve an all-night permit? Am I correct?
Yeah, they asked for DJ and live music. And we
Okay.
said, sorry, we love you, we want you to be successful, but the people above you are already complaining about the noise now.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do they have a DJ and live music now, Hillary?
No.
They have just piped in music?
Yes. And the apartment, I see a note, the owner of the apartment above them is on the phone, is here. So if you want to let her in to speak.
Well, one of the questions is why isn't the restaurant or the establishment then doing what they need to do to mitigate the noise issue? They should be doing something to their ceiling.
There was mitigation before they moved in.
Well, Hillary, I just want to say something. We had some people who said they lived in the building last month.
No.
When we did this. No, we didn't, Karen?
No.
I thought we did.
I'm fairly sure because Hillary, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was a previous episode where they wanted a sidewalk cafe and
Yes.
they represented to us that that was okay. And then, so we thought that was okay. And then the board actually had to sue them, I
No.
think, to stop it. Is that correct?
It's sort of. So they
Okay.
had their landlord represent themselves as the board signing off on it. The board did not sign off on it.
Oh, a fraud. Okay.
So then you guys revoked it. Then when COVID came and everybody got outdoors, prior to that, they sued us.
All right, so I have a question, everybody. I don't want to belabor because there's a whole other thing about their other hours. So do we deny this all-night permit?
Is the applicant not here?
Told me that they were going to withdraw it because they did a party. So
I just want to say, Hillary, that nobody showed up from the building the last time. So we are really in a terrible dilemma because we gave them based on what they said, and there were representatives that stated they were from the community. I mean, we don't check people's ID.
I listened to the Zoom call. You should let the person who's trying to get on, Diana.
Diana, be my.
Do we have the applicant though? This feels weird that we went straight to the other people.
Look, I listened to your Zoom call from that meeting. You asked them if they had reached out to the board.
That's correct.
Right. He said, I reached out to Hillary, but I haven't heard from her. That is not true. He did not reach out to us.
Okay. All right. Okay. Everybody should take note of that. This is the kind of thing where you have a certain sort of misrepresentation and it poisons things from there on.
Jean, unmute yourself, Jean.
Getting on today. I spoke to the owners. I was on the phone with the meeting last month.
That's right.
I talked to the owners on the phone afterwards, and they promised that they were going to reach out to the board because they had not. They said, we tried and we didn't hear back. That's what they said. That's what they said. And I went and spoke to them before the meeting, and I said, I think you're going to have problems with the sound. I said, it's noisy now. When I was talking to them in the restaurant, and I said, I think you need to reach out to the board because I remember the incident with the sidewalk cafe, and I said, you cannot go further with anything, particularly the DJ, unless you get an agreement with the people in the building. And they had said during the meeting that there was a basement where they were going to hold.
No, they don't have a basement. That's not true.
Well, so that's not true.
They have a
And
first floor.
it was only going to be for certain events that they were going to use the DJ. So I think there's some mistakes about what they're really going to do. But they had promised us at that meeting, I was on the phone, that they were going to come back with information from their meeting with the board.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what happened. I was alerted to the fact that the meeting happened and my name was mentioned. I went and I went back to them and said, what's going on? You mentioned that you had reached out to me. You haven't. We set up a Zoom call with the entire building so the owner could tell the whole building what their plan was. And the unit owner that is right above them is on the phone and she should speak. I shouldn't have to be the one always representing us, was very concerned. It's Diana. You should let her speak.
I'm very happy to let her speak. Diana, please unmute yourself.
Yes.
And you can put on yourself on video or not, but speak.
Hello. Hi. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Thank you for letting me have the ability to speak right now. Yes, I listened to the call. I was only aware of everything that was going on after the fact, after Hillary notified me of the situation. As Hillary noted, we weren't aware of any of this until afterwards. I'm a new resident. I just moved into the building about 3 months ago at the end of July. And frankly, would never have moved in had I known about the noise issues and complaints from the previous owner. And this is prior to any of the live DJ music. As it is, and I've told this directly to him, have complained to him about the loud music playing on several instances. Specifically on November 13th, they had live music for a wedding. It was unacceptable. The noise was beyond comprehension. The floors were vibrating. It was no one could sleep through this, let alone have a regular conversation or have dinner. Nothing. It was unlivable. The fact that this could happen on a regular basis, 4 times a month, 2 times a month, or 1 time a month is unacceptable. I understand that I sort of signed on to living above a restaurant. I was not aware of the noise issues before, like with just the fact that they play loud music. I mean, just even this past Saturday and Sunday, they start this loud music at 8:30 in the morning. And they're open all day.
Okay, I want to remind the board. So I want to do 2 things right now. I want to remind you that in November, we approved the method of operation, everybody, to add a DJ and live music for special and private events on an occasional basis on Saturdays and Sundays, and to extend hours to 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. That's what we approved on November 10th, okay? So I think there are 2 issues here.
I don't think it was.
Wait, I thought you had said pending board approval was my understanding, and back when I listened to that recording.
I think you are right. They were supposed to get I thought we had it, but that's what we did. So we have 2 things we must do. And one of them I'm loath to do, but we're going to do it, is we're going to have to write to the SLA about our November 10th resolution. We're going to combine them, that we are rejecting the permit for the all-night venue at the all-night permit for 200 Tribeca, because I want to see what it also says, but we're going to not allow it for New Year's Eve. And we're going to inform the SLA that we thought we had gotten correct information and we did not. And so we would like.
Well, they misrepresented them.
And misrepresented themselves.
And also, 2 couple of things. First of all, Diana, If you are having this issue all the time, you should be calling 311, getting a complaint number, calling the community board, just so that we have it on record.
Yes.
If you complain enough times and get the rest of the neighbors in the building to complain, and get those complaint numbers to us at the community board, we have evidence to show that you have been disturbed and that they are not listening to your needs. That's number one. Then number two, I don't understand why they are starting at 8:30 in the morning. No one starts at 8:30 in the morning playing loud music.
Yeah.
Number three, again, it's a mitigation. Whatever they did to insulate the ceiling, to deal with the acoustics, it isn't working. So whoever owns the building and that they're renting from should require that they do whatever additional,
I specifically asked that question directly. I said, what about considering providing additional insulation? And he said, absolutely not. We spent $100,000, Andreas, the owner. He said we spent $100,000.
Go on.
I'm sorry. He said we had spent $100,000 back when we purchased this. We have no intention of spending any more money on this.
Okay.
Then it's up to you and the people in the building to get 311 numbers, complain often, get numbers often, send those to the community board, Lucian or Diana or Jennifer at the community board. So at least we have something to fall back on when we go to them. And like next time we won't renew their liquor license.
No.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, I was just trying to be a good neighbor. And so hence why I never call 311, but it hasn't worked.
But they're not being good neighbors.
No, I know.
So we're going
Exactly.
to get this letter out. We're going to, I think it's a letter. I don't think it's a resolution unless somebody disagrees that we are not approving this permit for Tribeca. And we are going to include that we are in review of the, we want to really recall our resolution of November 10th because they were dishonest.
But I think it should be two things. I think we should send the SLA all of this information that they misrepresented themselves, they're not good neighbors, da-da-da-da-da-da. Or as Karen said, it's even fraud because they came before us and said something that wasn't true.
Oh,
And
wait,
we should do a
they didn't
resolution
represent that
as
they
we are
got,
revoking.
yeah,
what
they did not
we-
represent they got board approval. They represented that they reached out, which is not true. So again, we tried to create Zoom calls so they could do their requests, so we could hear from all of the unitors. I just want you to parse it correctly. They didn't say they got board approval. They said you asked them to go get it. Monday, they sent me an email from the community board saying, here's what the community board wants you to put in writing. I sent it back to him after we had a board meeting, him and email addresses, Jennifer at the community board and then your staff community board.
Yeah.
And all of them, and said, unfortunately, we can't support this. We want you to be successful, but given the concerns of the people who are living above you, we can't support it. So
Okay.
that's the fact.
All right. So
I think Cora wants to say something.
what?
I thought Cora wanted to say something.
I don't see her hand up.
Oh.
You want to say something, Cora? Wait, Jean. So I want, I want to move this a bit.
But, actually, I have a question for Hillary and for Diana, if you know, who is the landlord of the restaurant?
Sutton.
And that's not the same as the corporation that owns the co-op there?
It's a condo.
Ah, okay, I got it.
And it's a separate restaurant. The original owner probably kept the
right.
restaurant.
All the commercial units are owned by
got it.
Sutton.
I got it. So we are going to do two things. We are going to, I have to figure out how we do this about calling back the November 10th resolution and explaining to the SLA. I think it has to be done in a letter of some sort that we had asked them and they were untruthful. They were not forthcoming about the reality of the situation. And it is not in the public interest to do this. So the next is for us to and ask them to withhold the approval of the November 10th, and that we are not, I just need a vote that we are not approving the all-night permit for New Year's Eve. Am I
And
correct?
we do that as a resolution, right? That we're
Yes,
not approving it.
that's correct.
And listing everything that they haven't been truthful, that they,
Yeah,
you know, we have
all of
complaints
that.
from the neighbors.
Got to get that out as soon as possible. Okay.
Yeah. Second,
Okay. All in, anybody against? Recusal? All right, it carries because Megan and Joe are jumping off. Do I have anything else to vote on before they leave? Jen, I don't think so. Yes, we have a new thing, everybody. It has been decided. Oh, we have two things. We have Alamo at 28 Liberty, which
I
is,
just want to say I went there.
yeah.
I was home last week, and so I went to like an 11:30 show. It was wonderful.
Okay, well, they're coming back to us because they came. They came to us and we approved them. I think when we were the financial committee, and they filed for bankruptcy, and now they are coming back for an application for the liquor license for Alamo Limited Buyer Draft House. And we have the old resolution, and I didn't think there was any problem with it, and there seems to have been no problem with them to date.
Everybody should go.
Do we need a resolution, Jen? I think we do, don't we?
Oh, we have the applicants here if you want to have them let them speak.
Susan.
Hi, how are you? I don't know whether, Alex, we need to go forward, do any more than we have. Do we know your hours? We're going to use the same resolution we gave you before. Anything you want to say? Say.
I just want to second Pat's comment that everybody should go to Alamo.
I'm gonna.
I can't hear. Did you say second my comment? Yeah, go. It was lovely. It was lovely. I was shocked.
Pat, there's a
A
few
bit,
folks
well, I
from
haven't been.
Alamo- there's a few folks from Alamo
Do we need a
I know are
resolution,
also on the
Jen, or
meeting,
not?
So I'm sure they're happy to hear what you just said too. So thank you.
Jen.
It's up to the committee since it's been the time frame passed, and that's why they had to come back to re-notify their 30-day notice. So if you want to do a resolution, it's up to the committee as to what.
Well, how about if we submit the old resolution and look at it and allow it to go forward?
Has anything changed?
The only thing that's changed is there was the restaurant that was going to be called Video Vortex. It's now going to be called the Press Room. There's Brian from Alamo. He can sort of talk to you about the vintage, nostalgic videos and movies and stuff they're going to have there. But if you were at Alamo, then you saw it.
Can Alex increase his volume?
Sorry?
We need you to speak louder, Alex.
Hold on.
So there's a change in the restaurant. And
no, there's no change really to the restaurant. I'm saying the restaurant was going to be called Video Vortex, and they just now changed the name to the Press Room. Oh. And I think there's 8 less seats in the restaurant.
Okay. I don't know whether we need to belabor it. We'll write a resolution agreeing to what we agreed to before, and we'll just update it. I'd like a second, and we'll move forward. Brian, I'm sorry not to let you speak about the wonderful restaurant in the press room. We'll all go look at it.
The other thing I just have to say, I'm sorry, Alex, you need better signage. We went upstairs to then be told by the guard it was 4 flights down. You can't really tell where it is.
But you told us we needed to have very discreet signage.
Well, it is very discreet.
It's too discreet.
Inside, outside I can understand, but inside we couldn't find it.
All right. So if can I have a second on this? Somebody?
Second it.
Okay. Any recusals? Rejections?
Abstentions?
Abstentions? Thank you, Jen. Okay, Alex, you
Okay,
got
happy
it.
holidays, everybody.
You
Thank you.
too. Thank you. All right.
Is that it? Or is that it?
No, don't run so fast, everybody. We are now, what else, Jen? Do we
Under
need-
5I, so we have 30 Broad Street, Building 110 Andes Road, and 2 Hay Park. And then the renewal specifically for 1 Liberty Plaza.
Okay, I don't think One Liberty Plaza, the Governor's Island is 110 Andes Road. Am I correct?
Yes, and 2 Hay Park. But the next item to be called is 30 Broad Street.
Okay. And what's that?
That's for Serafina to go, 30 Broad LLC. And we have Phil here with us.
Okay.
Is that for 30 Broad?
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I just happen to be here because I'm doing Governor's Island next. I'm not doing 30 Broad. They're clients of mine, but they are doing this on their own tonight. So you should have someone here, probably Jeff.
Hi, Phil. Is it Jeff Isaacson that I'm seeing on the attendees list?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, exactly.
All right, Jeff, speak up. Are you there? Okay, Jeff, unmute yourself.
I did.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
So explain to us, Jen, do you want to put it up or the application?
I'll put it up, yeah.
Please. You need it bigger, please. $30 Broad is where?
Broad in Exchange.
Yeah, okay. It's on which corner, the north or the southwest?
I wasn't aware. I needed my directions. It's, I'm not quite sure.
Southwest.
With a New York Sports Club in it.
Okay.
Susan, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
It's the building with a New York Sports Club in it.
Ah, okay. So you're going to take it over?
Correct.
Okay. And what is Serafina to go versus Serafina?
It's a quick serve concept. So it's the high-end Italian food to go. Paninis, pastas, salads.
And are you having wine and beer or alcohol?
Wine and beer only. And it's single serve wine and either cans of beer, but single serve wine.
And it's to go.
Yeah.
Is it delivery?
No, there will be delivery, and there are 30 seats.
Are there seats out on Broad?
No, there's no seats outside.
Okay.
None.
Let me see the hours, Jen, again. Please. Okay. Anybody, I know it, Darona knows it. I think most all of us know where it is. Are you going to have music?
It's canned music. It's ambient music.
Okay. Yeah, show us that corner. I think I went by it the other day and saw it. Any questions, any concerns? Yeah.
I didn't hear the question.
Broad and Exchange.
Are there any windows?
Yes, there are. There are windows. So if you go back to the photos, it's all, the front will all be windows.
Okay,
Will
are
they
they,
open?
I'm sorry? No, they
Go on.
don't open. Just the door opens.
Okay, that's
okay.
fine. That's fine.
I'm sorry. Is there seating and it's to go?
Yes. So if you want to, no different than any other, quick serve, if you want to get your salad and sit down at a table, you can do so.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's Serafina, which was on Madison. There's one there used to be in the 40s or 30s
Correct.
or where.
There's 9 currently in the city.
Okay.
There's one on Tribeca.
Pardon me?
There's one on Tribeca, West Broadway and Reed.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. Thanks, Jaron. So everyone, any concerns, questions?
No.
If not, can I have call the question?
Call the question.
Okay, any no's, recusals? All, I will take it as all in favor.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you. That was.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, good luck.
Thank you very much. We hope to see you.
You will.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So the next one is Governor's Island. It's an application for a liquor license at Andy's Road. Hello.
Hello.
So tell us about it.
Before I tell you about it, I just want to make sure I have my team here with me. Diego and Alice should be on.
Yes, I'll move them up to panelists. Thank you, Phil.
Great. Well, I was hoping that my application would be the easiest of the night, but that one at 30 Broad was pretty seamless, so hopefully we can follow suit. The Lower Manhattan Cultural Council is a not-for-profit that connects artists and communities by providing space and resources for artists to share their works and connect with people from all over. They're based out of Lower Manhattan here in Fidei, but they have an art center over in Governor's Island, which is where this application pertains to. It's an extremely reasonable application given that the hours are only until 6 p.m. each night, and there are no residents whatsoever because it's Governor's Island. So there's no outdoor space either. Lastly, it's beer and wine only. So basically, the setup over there on Governor's Island is that it's an art gallery, both upstairs and downstairs, with studio space as well. And then on the ground floor, there's a small cafe. The cafe is currently operating with small bites and coffee and things of that nature. And like I said, they're just simply looking to add beer and wine, so you could have a nice glass of wine while you see some art and meet some cool artists. So with that, I'll leave it to you guys.
Okay.
Any questions, concerns?
Nope.
Okay, shall we call the question?
Yep.
Seconded. Okay. All in favor? All right. Go to it, Phil. This was an easy one.
Thank you, Susan, and thank you, everybody else.
Happy holiday.
Happy holidays.
So, everyone, I forgot to do something on, I think, both 28 and 30, 28 Liberty and 30 Broad are POPs. And Alice reminded me, and I forgot that we need to make sure that, Jen, we let them know that 30 Broad is not an issue because they answered it, but that 28 is not going to be outside, that is for public space. And that if they do anything, they have to let us know. There has to be, it is a POPs, it is for the public to be able to sit. I don't think it's an issue, but I just want to remember to ask, all right?
I agree with that, and since we do have some a window of time frame between now and full board, we can ask that, take it offline and ask that if they can agree to those
Yeah,
have
yeah,
conditions.
yeah. And 30 Broad was not an issue, but we should, it's not a problem, I don't think, for 30 Broad. It was just 28. And then we haven't been to we're doing next 200 Water Street, which is also a POPS. Am I correct?
No, that one's postponed for 200 Water
Okay.
Street.
All right. So we
Next
go
one
to,
is Hay Park.
all right, we keep moving on, everybody. We go to 1 Liberty Plaza.
No, the next one is Hay Park.
Oh, that's where?
On Governor's Island.
Another one, huh?
And we have the attorney here.
Okay. So what is 2 Hay Park?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Benjamin Corngut. I just want to make sure that my client is on, Kevin Moore. Kevin, are you on?
You have to unmute yourself if you're here, Kevin.
There he is. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, we can hear you.
Okay,
Hi, Kevin.
thank you. Yeah, it's a new application for me.
That's all
So,
right.
so just to give you a little background,
Please.
as I'm sure you know, recently Mayor de Blasio announced that Governor's Island's open year round. It used to close, I think, October 30th, October 31st.
Yeah.
Kevin and this entity, they have 2 other locations on Governor's Island that currently operate in the summer. And because of their good relationship with the Trust for Governor's Island, the Trust basically selected them to anchor kind of a new area that'll be operating in the winter, which is, I believe it's on Colonel's Row. Is that right, Kevin?
Yes, it is.
Right. So it's the address is 2 Hay Park, but it's in the Colonel's Row area. I guess they moved it more to the someplace that's a little more
accessible.
Yes.
Well, not only accessible, I think it also has to do with the weather. So maybe it's, it's protected by buildings, so maybe the wind is not as bad in the winter. But in any event, they're building the plan is to build an ice skating rink there, and this applicant is going to essentially be like the anchor tenant right around the ice skating rink. So it's going to be a shipping crate where they prepare the food, and then there's an outdoor seating area right next to it. The hours of operation are 11 to 6, so just basically so people can, have a bite and a drink, either if they're watching their kids ice skate or before or after they ice skate.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have a diagram of it?
It should be in the package.
Keep going, Jen, so we can see.
How many people will this accommodate?
We're looking at almost like 20 small tables for 2. Yeah.
So how many would that be? 40 something or 50?
No, it's more. It says go back. It's there.
80? I think I saw an 80
I would say
someplace.
80. Again, it's with the skating, it's on and off. It's not a steady, but I estimate 80
120 seats.
max.
120. So does that bring us into large venue?
I don't.
I don't
you
think
asking-
so, Karen. I think it's a restaurant. It's not a. I don't
In a
see it as a
container.
venue.
Well, it's more. I would think of it as like a food kiosk, similar to what's currently on Liggety Terrace on the other side of the buildings, where they have these kind of terraces and then they have a large outdoor seating area next to it.
So how much of it is enclosed? Is any portion enclosed?
None of it is enclosed.
Okay.
So how are you gonna keep people warm, or not?
We're not. We're hoping they bring their mittens and scarves for sure. But it's
All right.
the way the weather's been with us so far. It's our first, winter, of course.
All right. Well, we'll see how it goes.
Yes.
And you're serving a hard liquor?
Yes, we basically just like a mulled wine, not any difficult spirits, but a mulled wine and a hot toddy perhaps. Mostly we're doing hot cocos right now, but it's the option for the parents, I guess, to have something warmer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Before you vote, could I just make it's somewhat
Yeah.
of an unusual request, which is because this was kind of like this sprung up somewhat late. We're at risk of missing the entire season, so we've applied for, and the trust has really asked us to apply for some temporary permits for for basically for Christmas for December. And we applied for 6 for December. There's a limit of 4 unless we get a letter of no objection from the community board, like specifically for the temporary retail permits. So I guess in addition to the underlying application, we would ask for a letter either of support, of no objection, just to the ones for December. So
I
that we
don't have any trouble. Does the committee have any trouble? I don't think any of us have any trouble. We can get you a letter. And for your extra Christmas event.
Oh.
And you wanna serve liquor at that event, or you just want
Well,
to?
it's not, it's basically it's the weekends. It's the 18th, the 19th, and then the 24th, 25th, 26th, and New Year's Eve. So that's 6 total.
And you want temporary permits with allowing alcohol as well?
No, there is no such thing. I mean, so
I
it
didn't
would,
think so.
yeah,
That's what
so
I'm asking.
so
So
just
what do you want
it's
then?
just beer and wine for those days.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. All right, Jen, we can do that. I need we're not gonna do a resolution, we're gonna do a letter, am I correct?
Well, a resolution in favor of granting a liquor license for this, but in addition to that,
For
a letter of
January.
no objection.
Yeah,
And I guess
both of
I'm sorry to interrupt you again, Susan, because we want to get the license in, I guess, tomorrow,
Is it-
basically.
Well, the license won't, we need the full board vote. I mean, and
Okay.
that's
And
the way.
when is that?
The 21st, when is our meeting?
Let me
Okay.
check. That is on the 21st. Yes.
21st.
Okay.
Okay, but it's for January, basically. I'm giving
Well,
you,
hopefully, we've been told by the SLA that because it's a season, they typically expedite seasonal licenses. So,
well, it's not seasonal. You're asking for an all-year license, are you not?
no, this
Well,
is
not
just a
all year.
season. It's just a winter license, I think, because the ice skating rink's not going to be operating in the summer so far. I mean, I think a lot of this is up in the, because the winter just opened. I don't think they really know, but as of now, it's just for the winter.
Well, I could, we will write a resolution. We will give you the extension and do I have a quorum still, Jen?
We do. I would propose that the resolution could be written and reviewed by the committee, and it could be issued with a letter noting that we approve, but this resolution is it's on conditional approval until it is officially adopted at the full board, if that makes sense. That's an
Yes.
option that I'm giving to the committee if that's
I
permissible.
think that's fine, and I think that'll serve you well.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we can do that. Can I have a call the question in a second, please?
Call the question.
Second? I don't have a second.
1 second.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay. Any rejections? Recusals? All in favor? Or abstentions? Okay, everybody's in favor. Go to it.
Thank you,
so
everyone.
much. All
Good
right,
luck.
Thank you, board. Thanks.
All right.
And the last item is just the renewal for One Liberty Plaza.
Convene.
Is someone here from Convene? I never see anyone in that space.
They're not here, but this was happened to be a sort of clerical error. For some reason, their 30-day notice was delivered to us, but it was a something that happened in the process of long story short, USPS noted that it returned the 30-day notice back to them saying that it was undelivered when in fact it was delivered to our office. So because we didn't receive it on time when they delivered this notice to us back in, I believe it was July, so in the summer, time had passed and then inevitably their license had expired. So now they came back to us again asking if we had ever received the 30-day notice. And we confirmed that we did receive the 30-day notice, but for some reason it happened to be an issue or an error with the delivery, the way it was delivered with USPS. And so that's why they're listed on the agenda for a renewal for the expired license, because at this point it's been expired.
You know, I wish I could tell you that I'm not dazed and confused, but I'm dazed and confused.
I didn't understand.
That even at 8:21, which is pretty early for us, I'm dazed and confused, Jen. So tell us simply, if you can.
And I'm confused as well. This is not the first time it's happened. I don't know why this happens, where there's been other times where other renewals, it's been undelivered to us, and then thankfully the applicant would notice that, and then they would ask us via email, "Hi, CB1 office, have you received our 30-day notice? We got the mail back returned back to us saying that it was undelivered." And then I answer saying that yes, we did receive it. I don't know what it is, but something, I don't know if it's a USPS issue or something along the lines of that. So it's either if you approve or disapprove of the renewal of their expired license.
Well, I don't think we had any complaints on them or anything. Have we, anybody?
Let me open up the notice.
Why don't you?
What is the name of this establishment?
Convene.
Never heard of it. Where is it?
One Liberty. One Liberty.
It's over at Battery Park City. It's on Liberty Street, but I never see anyone in there.
Neither do I. I've walked by it. What are their hours, Jen? Go make it bigger.
Oh, I don't have their hours with me. I'll have to pull that up. One second.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. We're here still. But I just don't understand. I'm trying to think.
But I'm still confused. So no one's here is what you're saying. No one's here.
Well, usually we do ask people to come for a renewal, but they haven't come. They supposedly delivered their renewal of
6 months ago. Yeah, it's dated 6/8.
Yeah.
But they said this isn't just a renewal then, right? It's because it expired, we kind of have to do it over, no? Or is that wrong?
Well, I wish I could tell you I still was confused. I think they have to come to us, Jen.
I think so too.
What their business is? What are they doing? I never see anybody.
It says right on the document, expiration date August 31st, 2021, which was not yesterday. I mean, that was a while ago too. So not only did it expired some time ago, and they're not here yet.
How about this? Whether the post office did or didn't or whatever, I have a feeling, are they still, this is the question, are they still doing business, which I'm sure they are. But they're going to have to come to us in January, Jen.
I mean, can you email them, Jen?
Are you there?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, I was looking at the resolution. Sorry, what was the question?
Well, can you email them and let them know that they need to come, because I go by there not often, but you know, I live on Liberty Street and I don't see them in there.
Yeah, I could email them asking that they come in back. Well, they appear at the next meeting's on January 12th. So I looked at the resolution, and their hours of operation, according to the July 2018 reso, states that it's from 10 a.m. till midnight, all days of the week.
Yeah, but it expired in, like Mariama said, it expired in what, August?
Mm-hmm. But don't they get, everybody, Karen knows this, don't they just get an automatic renewal?
Probably they do. I don't know if they have to prove that they sent something and they, they get the green card back or something
Right,
like that.
right.
I don't know how they would have been able to do that this time.
They're gonna have to come to us, Jen.
Where's
Gotcha.
Mark?
Mark, are you there? No.
Yeah, go ahead.
Don't
Well,
they have to come back, Mark?
Say that again.
we're at Convene, One Liberty, and there was some confusion about delivering their license expired on 8/31/2021. And Jen said there was some confusion with the post office, this, that, and the next thing, but we haven't seen them. And I don't want to give them a renewal. I'm sure they've been operating without their renewal. I betcha,
Yeah.
but whatever. But I think they should come back to us, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, where are they?
I mean, at least communicate.
They thought that whatever we didn't get was sufficient, or
Yeah.
not, or whatever. So,
Susan,
yes.
it's Cora here. Convene is a conference space. It's conferences, meetings, group meetings. They do catering. I'm not speaking for them, but I just know Convene. Like Pat said, Pat, you never saw anyone in there because I think because of COVID, people are having Zoom meetings, Zoom conferences, scientific meetings all
Now
over
I
the
know
Zoom.
where it is. It's in Battery Park. It's right there.
It's
It's
right
that
by,
building.
right across from Gateway Plaza.
Yeah.
So BPC committee folks know it very well because of some other issues. And that was being taken care at the BPC committee meeting. So this is a liquor license. I guess they do catering, so they serve conference participants wine and beer, maybe, but it's not a restaurant. Just want to.
It's a catering space, Cora?
Yeah, like a conference space. If you need a 200 people, 300
That's what I thought, that they were using it for businesses to have business meetings, right?
Yeah, they have, correct.
Well,
It's not a restaurant.
I have no problem with this. I don't want them to be out of business if they have a conference at Christmas. I mean, but they've been clearly, if they're functioning, they've been functioning without this renewal or with this renewal taken for granted. But I would like to see them in January. How's that?
But that's not good. I mean, yeah, sure, see them in January, but it's not good if they've been operating without a license all
But
this
I don't.
time.
Well, we don't know, do we?
Yeah, so
I don't think we should speculate.
Well,
All
this-
it takes is a
reach
phone
out
call
to
or email to ask them. If they
Yeah, I
hold
think they
any
should just
conference.
come. It's been too long.
Well, we should just be looking up on the SLA website whether this license is current or not. That's easy enough.
Is it current, Jen? Have you looked that up?
It's expired.
It expired, so they have to
So
come to
if it
us.
expired, we shouldn't renew it until we see them.
No, we're not going to, Mark.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
So it needs to be then this needs to be a resolution on its own. It
Okay.
should be.
I mean, we could just do a letter, and then when they come back in January, we can do the resolution by then. That's another option if that's.
Yeah, I would rather do a letter.
Okay, so to clarify, there is one over in Battery Park City. This one is One Liberty Plaza, 165 Broadway. So they've been, if you guys looked at this, so bottom floor is for where the coffee roasters. It's a local coffee roaster. They brew in Maspeth. Highly recommend it. You guys can all go there and get a cup of coffee if you're bored of that Seattle coffee chain.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
This is the one that's on Broadway.
Like
This
across the
is
street from McDonald's.
This is opposite. Yeah. This is on the opposite side of where the Brooks Brothers was. So
Yeah.
the second
I didn't
floor,
know this.
Brooks Brothers building.
guys, the second floor was under construction for a long time.
Right,
So I don't think that they were operating. It looks interesting. They just finished up. I don't think they've been operating, if at all.
No, they haven't been. That's right. It's right across the street from me, but around the corner on. Yeah. Okay. So that's why I haven't seen anybody there. But wrong spot. I thought it was over in Battery Park City.
Yeah, they have one over there too.
So here we are. So what do we do?
They have to come back.
Well, how did they get on our agenda? Did they contact us to get on the agenda for renewal? Why,
They
why are they on the
asked
agenda?
if we received their notice or not, because their license expired. So,
But it expired in
It
August.
expired a long time ago, though. That's weird.
Well, that piece of paper was sent to us back in June.
Well, the problem that Jen, now I understand, explained was that we never got it. Correct, Jen?
correct.
And they said they sent it. We never got it. Who knows who was at fault? But they've been operating at, my sense is, unless I'm nuts.
No, I don't think they're open. Are they open?
Duran, are they open?
So the coffee shop opened up in July, and as far as I know, has been open Monday through Friday since then. It's not open on the weekends. I don't know about the second floor.
All right. Again, I don't see anybody in there. So.
So here we are. I think they have to come in, Jen, in January.
Okay.
Yeah, because they were doing a second floor. They were doing a whole big thing.
They have to come in with the whole thing. All
Yeah,
right.
they built it out. I imagine they're about to get ready to start business there.
Well,
And even if we didn't get their information in the mail, it expired in August this December. Why haven't they contacted us between August and December?
Correct. Right.
And did they send it registered mail or whatever the case? What proof do
Well,
they have? If they have anything?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We didn't get it. So they're coming, they have to come in January. All right. I need, we talked about it before. I want you all to look at that large venue stip sheet again, because we want to put it in permanent, make it permanent to go with all the large venues. A number of us looked at it before, but and we didn't have any trouble with it. It has 10 items, and it will, we, at the end, we say, I will additionally, whoever the large venue is. But these were things we talked about, and we put it in a format. Mariama had started this, and 75 persons or more is a large venue, and this is so far what is on our stip sheet. Do we have to vote on this, Jen?
We do.
Okay. So I would like to assume that unless anybody has some terrible objection, we're going to approve it. And we can always remember it is our template, basically, and we can add to it. So can I have I call the question, and can I have a second, and can we vote?
Call the question.
Thank you. Any recusals? Any abstentions? Any noes? Okay.
I have a question. Are we meeting live in January? Or are we still going to be either Zoom or a hybrid of, not Zoom, but WebEx or a hybrid?
Who are you asking? You think I know?
No, Jennifer should know.
A good question. I don't know.
Doesn't it depend on what happens with Omicron?
Right.
No, it depends on the open meetings law, which they.
But that may depend on what happens with Omicron.
I think we don't know yet. But I have another question. We have 3 things that we wanted to submit that Tammy had asked us to submit for the open restaurants. Do you have them, Jen? I didn't write them all down.
Well, it will be helpful to kind of just repeat it. I think Mark made a point brought up earlier if he wants to touch base on that again for the rest of the members who joined in later at 6:30.
Mark? I don't know whether he's still here.
Still here. Mark, you were talking about, you saw some regulations that were being discussed about it not being closed in and heating, and Mark? His name is there.
We had added a few things, everybody, that as Mark had stated, certainly after this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go.
Giving the cats medicine, so.
Oh, all right. it's your turn to talk about the things we talked about around the open restaurant venue that we want to propose.
Oh, I gotta go over that again. Okay.
Yeah, quick.
The issues with the garbage, the fact that that a lot of the venues are using garbage and on cones and other things to block off areas that are not the street that are not part of the venue. A lot of things with noise. They have speakers and TVs in there, what they're not allowed to have. The place near me that came by a couple of months ago, the Greenwich Tavern. They had two occasions where their music speakers inside the structure just started blasting like at top sound levels. It was accidental, but it happened twice already. So of course all these noise and quality of life complaints. So did I leave anything out? What
Well,
did I say
one thing
before?
also, we felt that they shouldn't have sidewalk restaurant and a street restaurant.
Oh, right, yeah, right, yeah. It's too much. I mean, is it included in the liquor license? I mean,
Yeah.
And
the
that
Department of Transportation is in charge, which is ridiculous, of course. So
yeah,
and that they should abide by the rules and regulations for the sidewalk cafe, that whatever times would be acceptable for a sidewalk cafe are the times that should be acceptable for the street structure.
exactly, yeah. This midnight every night thing is ridiculous because it never winds up being midnight. It's 1, 2 in the morning on the weekends a lot.
All
Yeah,
right.
so.
Okay, Jen.
But Mark, you also brought up that you saw something that the structures had to be easily collapsible and
Yeah, apparently they have to be easily removable for street cleaning, and that they cannot be 100% enclosed, whatever that means. Which a lot of them are now. A lot of them have doors, elaborate windows. I even saw one the other day with a drainage system, like uptown. So
Might as well be inside that
yeah.
point.
So I don't know how, and I really don't know how safe these structures are. And I mean, what happened at the Odeon, it proves it. I mean, I see
at the
things.
Odeon.
The roof blew off in the wind a couple of nights ago when it was really windy.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
And
The
someone
other-
got injured.
He was hurt,
other
not terribly.
Yeah, it was an injury.
I'm sorry, I had proposed last month at several of the committee meetings, since all the committees are discussing this, and people had some objections, but I still want to propose this. You know, the newsstands all had to adhere to a certain uniformity, and they had to be at some point several years ago. They all had to be the same structure. Remember, they all had to be like that metal
Yeah.
structure.
Yeah.
And I think that all of these street restaurants should adhere to a modular, uniform structure. That some are made out of plywood and some are made out of this and some are made out of that. They should all be a uniform structure. And then outside, and so that they adhere to all of the safety codes, the fire regulations, the drainage, the lighting, the whatever. And then inside, you can individualize them to represent your restaurant, but I think outside should be uniform.
Well, the city would have to. I love the idea, but it ain't going to happen. But we certainly.
But the city is supposed to be regulating these.
Yeah, I don't have any trouble with that. All right.
The thing about that, it's like, well, there's like two sides to that coin.
I know.
I personally like the newsstands looking different. It was a little bit of a unique thing. You had some really old ones that took you back to a different era.
I think the old ones still stand. It's the new ones that had to be uniformed, I believe.
I think they got to get rid of everything.
You know what, Mark? With the newsstand, 1 to 2 people are inside the newsstands. With these street structures, there are lots of people that are sitting inside here without knowing whether the roof is gonna blow off.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that, but there's maybe you can have there should be some type of new. I don't know how they're gonna do it. How will they come up with a new construction standards? But the structure could be aesthetically unique. Like one may be a Mexican restaurant, one may be a Chinese restaurant, one may be an Italian restaurant, and they want to do their little shtick for each one. that should be allowed as long as it
So I'm
falls
saying
into
inside they can
proper
individualize
construction
things.
construction guidelines, whatever that might be. Like the roof's not going to blow off, you know.
That's what I'm saying. Outside would be uniform, but inside of these structures, they can put their logos and their, decor that represent their
Well, I think we
usual
can
restaurant.
raise it, Pat. I don't know where it'll go, but I think we can raise it. Why not?
Yeah.
All right. I think we've done our business. Jen?
Yes, we are done.
Ah, thank you. Happy holidays. I think I'll see you at the big board meeting, but thank you, everybody. And I want to say thank you for a really good year. You've been a fabulous committee. I
And
thank you.
Jen, you want to say thanks to
And
Jen?
Jen, well, we said thanks to Jen, which we will say we couldn't have done it without her. So thank you, everybody. And welcome, Bernard.
Guys, thank you. Sorry I'm late today. I missed the first
Don't
one.
worry about it. Yeah, you missed the first one. It was a good one. But we're glad to have you.
No.
All
Did
right,
you-
everybody.
All right, bye.
Good
Bye,
night.
everybody.
Happy holiday, everyone.
Happy holidays.
Bye.